What's up, everybody?
Eric, your mic!
You didn't move your mic,
I'm
Eric.
so sorry.
Rick told you and you didn't listen.
I didn't listen.
Now everyone's going to say we can't hear you, Eric.
We are here. It is Thursday. The Blind Wave podcast is live at 3 p.m. every Thursday at twitch.tv/blindwave. We're back. Calvin has been replaced by numbers.
Yes.
Numbers.
Yes.
What do these numbers mean?
We are getting awfully close to 600,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Ooh.
Which
That's
is very exciting.
cool.
So that is a live count over there. So that should be updating in real time.
It's
Should
like
be.
700 away.
Should be. It's the idea.
And that's privileged information these days, a live counter.
It's true.
You can't just do that anymore. That's some secret sauce right there.
Wasn't the easiest thing to do, but here it is.
Like Big Macs.
Big Max. Looks like Rop is boosting the stream.
What?
Boost the stream challenge. Is that the thing we were talking about before?
Ooh,
I think
is it
so.
back on?
They were doing it. They were doing it last night on my stream.
Nice. Well, thank you so much, guys. Aaron, tell more about it.
The boost to stream pops up, I don't know how. Maybe it's you guys activated it. I'm not exactly sure when it shows up. We have no control of it. But if it reaches 100%, Twitch then
25%.
will put us on like front pages of Twitch and stuff to get found and seen by people that don't normally follow us. So it just makes us more easily found on Twitch, which is a hard place to get found to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
So
Definitely.
click the little button down in the bottom left and use your Blind Wave tokens, and you can donate towards it and try to raise us up to 100%. And we're already at 45. We were just at 20. So thank you guys. We got to 80%. Not this past Monday, but the Monday before I had a stream and we got to 80%. So
Awesome.
with us being at 20%, and it says we have 2 days left, maybe we'll be able to hit it between today or tomorrow, because we have tomorrow's stream as well.
Good stuff.
So thank you to everyone who boosts. We appreciate it.
So we're at 600K right now, subscribers on YouTube. What do you think will be?
Not quite.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're wanting to get there. We're
Yep,
at
yep.
599,303. What do you think we're going to be at the end of the stream?
We might go up.
599,297.
Say
We're going to lose some.
We might go up 25. That's my top.
25?
Yeah. Like, I don't think anyone watching us here is gonna be like, "Oh, what? Subscribe on YouTube." Like, you guys all came from YouTube, right?
I haven't seen it change yet. Has it changed on yours, Eric?
It has not.
Ooh,
Okay.
we beat what I got Monday. We're
Yeah.
at 82%.
Awesome.
Already?
Yeah. It
Well,
was
I
at
got
20.
some last night.
It was at 20.
It was
So
at 20.
All right. Well, then
Wow.
I guess if we were at 20 from last night, then we won't be able to beat what it got. But we're almost there. So close. Thank you guys for everyone who
Yep.
already put in some.
We just went up 10.
We did.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Now, it's not live. It updates every, 30 seconds or something like that?
Yeah,
like that, yeah.
It's like 30 seconds.
There'll be a
Yeah.
little bit of delay on the subbing.
So Calvin shaving's beard, if we hit it the stream, right? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I heard.
I
that-
heard.
I heard.
He said 1 million by the end of the year, and that's passed.
I heard from DeBaba, who heard from Carmen, who was told by Calvin that he would do that.
Okay.
So it seems legit.
We can do that. So right now, Social Blade says that we will hit 1 million subs in 1 year and 5 months.
100 subs?
From
What?
today.
I'm sorry, 1 million.
1 million subs.
1 million subs
In
from
a
today.
year and what?
5 months.
Okay. It's like a year and a half.
But I don't know how they calculate that number.
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
Social Blade numbers are so wrong.
They are quite wrong.
Like, whenever they give you, maybe between this number and this number, and it's like 40,000,
Yeah.
you know? It's like, that's not the case. I wish it
Channel
were the
makes
case.
between $5,000 and $5 million.
Uh-huh, exactly.
Dude, it's always so
It's
crazy.
like 367,000.
If you look up any kind of like YouTube channel or anything, they make anywhere from, and it'd be like $1 to like $1 million. And I was like, what kind of average? What is this?
I mean, I guess it's technically correct. It's about as useful as what
Yeah,
the
I
cable
mean,
guy gives
the-
you when he's coming over.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
The what is it called? The margin of error. They're within it.
Yep.
They are within the margin of error. You are correct. Very much so.
But right now, Social Blade has us as having 6,379 uploads.
Okay.
I don't know if that's correct. I have to look.
Calvin is on vacation.
Yes.
So there's no colitis this time around.
Nope.
Maybe. We
That
don't
we
know.
know of.
We don't know.
Nope. He could be having colitis right now. I don't know.
Maybe we'll schedule colitis.
Scheduled colitis.
So we are the 41,539th most subscribed channel on YouTube.
40.
Okay.
Doesn't that make you feel good?
40
Not
what
bad.
thousand?
I'll take it.
41,539th subscriber ranked channel on YouTube.
I definitely, when I was telling people at Marietta College that like I was leaving to go do this YouTube thing, my boss told his kids about it, and they like looked up the channel and said like they don't have very many views.
When you consider that YouTube has more than 37 million YouTube channels, that's not too bad.
No, that's
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do the percentage of it, Aaron.
Oh man, I can't. I'm
We
not
have a
Rain Man.
grade of B+.
Do math.
Um,
Here, do you want my whiteboard? Wish to do math?
what was it? 41,000? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it is 41,539.
I'm just doing 41,000.
Okay,
It'd be close enough.
sure. So this is another half.
37 million?
500.
Damn. 41,000 puts us in the 0.001%.
Yeah.
At that number. That's crazy.
Yep. That's crazy. It's crazy how math works.
It is, but it's also just crazy like 41,000, it's like, well, geez, there's so many more people. But then when you look at how many channels there are, it's like, wow, we're the top 0.001%. Oh, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, but luckily...
Better than I did in college, that's for sure.
I mean, luckily, that number of people that are subscribed, there's a number of people there that are supporting us on Patreon, which over the weekend, they put us at the 20th most supported Patreon campaign
Really?
on the site.
Awesome. That's fantastic.
Yep.
We're so thankful
So thankful.
for all of that.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah, that's crazy because I was looking at Social Blade and I was counting it like 2 days ago, and it was like 33.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy that Patreon has us at 20.
Oof. I wonder. Wait, how'd you find that ranking
It's on Graphitron, which
for the YouTube
we're
one?
at 33 right now.
For the YouTube one?
Oh, no, for YouTube?
Yeah.
It's the Social Blade subscriber rank.
Yeah, it only counts number of patrons, right?
The Graphitron does count number of patrons.
Yeah.
So number of people actually subscribing. Though that number has dropped because it's the beginning of the month. Beginning of the month, it always happens.
Yep.
Blind Wave official Twitch. I want to see what this one's at. Blind Wave official Twitch archive. Will it find it? I want to know its rank. How high is its rank? This one is ranked 1,012,000.
Okay.
In America, we are the country rank. We are the 9,544th American YouTube ranked. I don't know how they get these numbers.
They make them up.
In entertainment
Maybe.
value, we are 10,073rd.
Okay.
Dude,
So we really jump up there in terms of entertainment.
the Twitch archive's only at like 14-some thousand, and it's still 0.02%. 0.027%.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine
It's crazy.
the vast majority of YouTube channels have to have under 100.
Probably. I mean, there's probably so many that have like what? Like none. You know, I mean, how many
No,
people make
sure.
ones that don't actually get subscribed? Do they count those as being channels?
I
Yeah, they
imagine
don't
they
even
do.
put videos out.
Yeah, like they're just there to watch videos and stuff.
I
and
imagine if you have a Google account, you probably have your YouTube.
so. If
profile.
they're counting all those and stuff too, I wonder if there's like a way of getting rid of all that and making sure it's just
Yeah, I
counting.
don't know.
like, how many like content creating YouTube channels are out there? I wonder what that makes it.
Anyway, welcome to the Bragging About Blind Wave podcast.
It's bragging about the Blind Wave fans.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
7%. What are we doing? The what?
All right, so how was your guys' weeks?
Well, Eric,
Matt,
I
what?
kind of want to hear about your week
My week?
because it's, from what I've heard,
I had a crazy week.
it's been a pretty good week.
Yeah, I got drafted last week in the Schmoe. This week I was named. Did Aaron, have you heard my Schmoe name yet?
Oh, you got a name now?
I have a name now. Christian,
is it the
Christian
one I gave you?
Harloff. No.
Damn it,
So
Eric. The Expanse Whiteley was so damn good.
It was pretty good. It was pretty good. So Christian Harloff is the chairman of the Schmoe, and he names everybody. So I am Eric the Knight Whiteley.
The Knight?
The Knight.
With a K or just an N?
With a K.
Okay.
Yep. So you could think Jedi Knight.
That's what I would have wanted my nickname to be.
Yeah?
Yeah.
With the K?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Exactly.
The Knight.
I need to send him a tweet and be like, hey, yo, you messed up. Eric the Expanse Whiteley was so good.
I believe the boost has been completed, by the way.
Did we finish the
Since
boost?
Boost started.
Ooh.
So we got
boosted.
to
don't
be on
know.
the best of our
We really
top
do.
of our game here.
Yeah. So yeah,
New eyes.
I got drafted, and I have the name the Knight. And as soon as Christian told me that, I'm like, yeah, we can make that work, because I'm on the quirky mercs, so I'm a baby face.
Yeah.
Which at first when I heard that, I was like, what? I have a beard, but that in wrestling terms that means good guy,
It does indeed.
as opposed to the heel, which I've always heard it called face,
face. Yeah.
but
Which
baby
is short
face
for baby
makes
face.
a lot of sense.
Yep.
So you're a baby face. You're a good guy.
I'm a good guy.
Good guy.
So
You know,
as soon you go ahead.
Your manager, we could get that Knight that we have upstairs,
Yeah.
and we could ventriloquism echo
Ooh.
someone
Yeah.
cutting promos for you through him, and it's
That-
all echoey. It sounds
that would
like
be pretty good.
Alphonse Elric.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing. I'm gonna go get him. I'll be right back.
Where are you going?
I'll be right back.
He's got to go get the Knight. So when I heard the Knight, the first things I thought of were, Jedi Knight. And then I thought of Batman. I am the Knight. You
Yeah.
know? From the animated series, he's like, I am vengeance. I am the Knight. I am Batman. But I couldn't really think of am I a Batman? Hell no, I'm not a Batman. I'm not cool enough. So that went out the door. But you know what is just as cool, but not really as prolific? The Knight old code from Dragonheart. Do you remember the old code? A knight is sworn to valor.
I remember you bite down, I stab you up. I remember that. But I don't think that's the code.
His wrath. Yeah, so I ended up putting that up on Twitter as yes, I've taken the name the Knight, the old code.
Gotcha. I don't think I moved the decimal point.
You what?
I don't think I moved the decimal point.
For what?
Don't you have to move decimal points for the percentages?
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah, I think so.
I think we're 0.1%, and then we're 2.7% on the other one.
Gotcha.
Sorry. It just hit me of
Were you cool?
I think you got to move this.
Gotcha.
That's what I didn't do.
Gotcha.
But no.
Still good.
It's still up for the Knight, huh? So when this goes through, do you have any say at all, or is it more of this is what we're gonna call you, and you're like, all right? Or do you?
Christian
are you
comes
able to
up
say
with
I don't like it, or
he was up on his there's a new app that he uses called Stereo, which is just I think he's getting that Knight, which is just an audio app, and he announced it there. And what he said, is that look, a lot of people come up with these names, and you can't really announce them. You can't say Jimmy Ratman, or something like that. It's got to have a certain flair.
Yeah.
So then he was like, Eric the Knight Whiteley. He's like, it rolls off the tongue. So I'm like, yeah, I agree. I like that one. So now I have the Knight behind me. Thank you very much, Rick.
you broke it?
You broke my Knight.
How'd you glue it back?
Ah. So anyway, I've been doing that. There was a lot of expectation of me going to the Schmoe, and I felt you know what? I really need to rise up to this hype, because I tell you what, I do not know Star Wars as well as I need to. The way I've been thinking about it is I can speak Star Wars, but I'm not
Fluent.
I'm kind of fluent.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
I don't understand the metaphor then.
okay. I know English well, but I don't know the definition of every single word.
Sure. Like profundity.
Like profundity. So I have to go and look up the rest of the words I don't know. So I started on...
I'm like that with a lot of words.
Yeah. I started on Saturday, and I started doing notes, right? And then from those notes, I started making flashcards. So these are my A New Hope flashcards right here. So I started on Saturday, and then I did a little more on Sunday, and then I did the rest Monday. So these are my flashcards for one out of the 12 Star Wars movies. And this is all the stuff I don't know. So, yeah, I've been working on flashcards, but boy, I'll tell you, it took me a total of 5.5 hours just to watch through A New Hope. Because I kept pausing and looking things up and stuff. So anyway, I've started with learning some flashcards for A New Hope, but I have a lot more movies to go through.
By the time you get done with all that, there will be maybe more movies.
I know, exactly.
You'll
By the
never
time
end.
I get done with that, the Schmoe will be over, and I would have lost terribly.
By the time you get through the movies.
Yeah. So anyway, before the stream here, I was quizzing Aaron, because Aaron knows a lot of this stuff.
There's a lot of things too where I'm like, and then it's funny when you're like, you're not gonna know this one.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I had to look up from like a book.
Yep.
You know, like
I had to
this
go
guy's
through a
never
couple
named
Wikipedia
ever.
articles, and
I had to dig out the action figure.
Exactly.
Yeah, right?
I did dig out an action figure for Bo Sheck.
It's crazy the canon of information for the movies, but that's also never mentioned in the movies.
I know.
Yeah.
Like how many characters there are. And
The most famous one is that Ewok is never mentioned
yeah.
in Return of the Jedi, but everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Like, how do they know it?
The
Merchandising.
action figure, you know? That's all I can think of is the action figure, you know?
Yeah.
And the movies.
Yeah, so
The Ewok.
anyway, the Ewok movies you
Yes,
mean. Yes,
that's
I get
how I
exactly
knew
what
it,
you
Rick.
mean. So yeah, these are my flashcards for A New Hope. So this week I'm going to be working on Empire, going to Return of the Jedi, the prequels, the sequels, Solo, Rogue One, and the Clone Wars movie.
You gonna get through all those this weekend?
Yeah. Yep.
Do you want to give the audience some examples, or is that too helpful for your competition?
I can give some examples of some of the questions that I've put down. So what I tried to do with these questions is try to put like a lot of information into the question or answer. And if I can get that memorized, then, obviously there's a lot of stuff. So one of the, this one is relatively easy. What is the name of the Aqualish who doesn't like Luke? So in the question, I actually have his species, right?
Sure.
I know from the movie, he doesn't like you. But that guy's talking about the other guy that's going, mm.
Yeah.
And his name is Ponda Baba.
Ponda Baba.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
He's an Aqualish?
he's an Aqualish, which we saw a bunch of Aqualish in The Mandalorian
I always
season
just
2.
called him like a walrus.
It's not like
Walrus.
What's that walrus man?
it's not like
Buttface.
soon
Yeah.
to be one-armed.
It is not. There are some harder ones that, you can try to remember by thinking about the way they're delivered in the movie. So what garbage masher, which is not called
Trash
trash compactor. It's called a garbage masher in the movie. What garbage masher were they trapped in? Do you remember, Aaron? If I can give you the first 4
3?
numbers. Yep.
4,
Nope.
6,
It's 326.
326. 326 47 98.
So the way he
It's
says
like
it too
8
is funny
digits.
because it's like 326 3827.
326.
Yeah.
3827.
3827. So that's
Yeah.
the garbage master that they're in. That's some deep cuts, man.
That's right after they died, but didn't die.
It is. There's some
I
fun
killed
questions. Where does blue milk come from?
Aha. Should
Do you
I answer
know?
it?
I actually got that one right.
You
Aaron
did get
got
that one
wrong.
You did get it right. So it does come from
The
banthas.
bantha.
Bantha milk.
We'll do a couple more examples here. Actually, this is one from, I think someone asked me this 2 weeks ago and I didn't know it. How many rebel pilots returned from the Battle of Yavin? How many rebel
pilots?
Rebel pilots. This is not including
So not counting
the
Han
Falcon.
I remember the answer from last week.
from last week. So you know it?
3.
Yeah.
It's 3.
What-
So
How many of what ship?
I don't know.
2 X-wings and 1 Y-wing.
it is. It's Luke Skywalker, Red 5 and an X-Wing. Lieutenant Wedge Antilles, Red 2 and a Y-Wing. And Yvonne Verlaine, Gold 3.
Yeah, that was a conversation that
I
we
didn't
had,
say Y-wing,
I think last
X-wing.
week, and it's like I don't remember her having
Yeah.
a name. I don't remember it being her either. Like I don't remember ever seeing a female pilot. Like, do you ever actually see her?
Oh, no.
I don't think so, dude.
believe
No, I
so.
don't remember one.
I only remember. I'd have to relook in the briefing room to see if there's like a female pilot sitting there or anything. But like the times I've watched it, I don't remember them like ever showing them flying. You
Yeah.
know, 'Cause that's crazy. But I know that she's like in the comics now, though, right?
She's in the new canon.
We'll do one more. Let me find a good question for you. I asked a bunch of these before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been sitting here like doing other stuff, and every once in a while, Eric's just like, Aaron. I'm like, what? He's like, what is? He goes through whatever.
Yeah, it's a fun way to just try to learn what's going on. Let's see. I just asked pretty much a majority of the ones that I think you guys can actually get.
Well, I'll do it for chat.
Here's one. All right, you won't know this. How many eyes and tentacles does the Dianoga have? Ooh. So the Dianoga is the monster in the garbage masher.
Yeah. Man, I only remember one eye.
Well, you're correct. He has one eye stalk.
Yeah.
But how many tentacles? Which it will be impossible to know, having just seen the movie.
Yeah, I'd say 3.
10.
It's in between that.
8.
Nope.
What's his name?
The
Dianoga.
Okay.
So Di would be 10.
It would be, but
But it's not.
it's 7.
But it's not.
7.
And her name is Ami.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's a female.
I didn't know she had a name.
Yeah. Which I don't have that on the card, but I was looking up Dianoga. I think that's like extra canon stuff.
Trying to
but I was
think-
like, Ami, the female Dianoga, has 1 eye and 7 tentacles.
I was trying to think of how many tentacles I could possibly think that they could have in Shadows of the Empire.
Yeah.
Because you saw them
You
in
see the whole thing, yeah.
you see them in that. And I'm like, oh.
Yep.
So.
Anyway, so that's a bunch of stuff just from one movie that I thought I knew pretty well. You know, I can't imagine how many cards I'm going to have for like Solo and Rogue One, because I know them well, but not like as well as this movie, and this is what I don't know.
Once you're retired, you're going to have to sell these to them.
I should do that, yeah.
Once you have all of them done, are you going to keep them separated, or are you going to mix them all up?
Well, what I'm thinking of right now, because I have all these mixed up and they're out of order, but I'm thinking I might keep them in certain categories because, you know, like you get to choose, let's say for the wheel round, you can, now the new rules are that you can choose up to 3 categories, and 2 of them are guaranteed to be on the wheel.
Yeah.
So
some of them are specific movies,
Yeah.
but you also might get vehicles and stuff like that. You might also get like heroes and villains.
Yeah.
So like
Who
that's why I
said
was
what?
wondering, like, are you going to mix them up? Are you going to take out the vehicle questions and put them in their own category?
Yeah.
Or like, what's your?
I'm thinking my plan right now is just to keep them in the movies as sections, and I can study per movie. Especially if as I go back and just kind of have them rolling in the background. It's like, I'm just going to have Rogue One playing today, and then I can just study Rogue One stuff, you know? So that's the idea right now. And I feel bad, a little bad for Jancy, who has so much Star Wars in her future right now. But she's been very, very helpful with helping me study. So it's been fun. And I can't wait to see, well, whenever the season actually starts. There's already a couple matches scheduled, but they're like qualifying matches. So the one that I'm looking forward to is Molly Damon
matches?
versus Laura Kelly to qualify.
That's the first match.
Yep.
What's a qualifying match?
So it's like for a title shot, I think.
Oh, okay.
That can actually go for Alex Damon, who is the current dominating player in the league.
So the weird thing is like
run-ins.
The what?
The referees.
Oh, I don't think so. There are no run-ins, I don't believe. The managers do get to come in and, you know...
that would be hilarious if, like, one of your lifelines or whatever was like a run-in.
Yeah.
Where you could get someone to run in to help you
That
or
would
to hurt the opponent.
That would be pretty cool.
Like they come in, distract the referee,
Yeah.
and then they're looking to a dictionary to find the answer or something.
Yeah, but
there is I mean, before COVID and stuff, like I've watched some of their stuff, and like they'll have like, and now coming in the, you know, whatever, and they go through, and then that guy, you know, comes out of this curtain with whatever, like the manager be walking there with him and stuff too, kind of like wrestling and whatnot. But there was a few times when they had like special buzzer moments, and there would be like a referee guy there right in the middle, like calling who got the buzzer and stuff. So there was like referee moments. Yeah. I don't know what they do now with, you know, having like.
I mean, you generally have like you have a certain amount of you know, I think there's a timeout this season. There is you have like a challenge per match, or maybe 2. I have the rule book that they put out to the competitors, and I think $10 patrons of the Schmoe can actually get the new rule book.
Okay.
Until it's released in public in like a couple weeks.
Gotcha.
But yeah, and then we also have you have multiple choice during a certain round as well that you can try to utilize. But if you use multiple choice, instead of getting 2 points, you only get 1.
Yeah.
Right.
But it can
And-
also, hinder the other steals
It can.
from getting 2 points, or give you a chance to get 1 point. So,
Yeah.
I've seen that done too, where people have no idea, so they go multiple choice, and even though they still miss it, it only gives someone 1 point.
Yep.
Versus giving them 2 points.
The strategy.
So.
Yeah, you're supposed to, from what I've seen and, talking with my manager and stuff, like, I don't want to ever not answer.
Yeah.
You want to have an answer.
Sure.
So,
It's like in Family Feud or anything else. Like, there's no penalty for getting it wrong.
yeah. So, anyway, excited for that. Like, some of the fun things that's been happening is, like, trying to trick my mind into remembering something, Like, one of the questions that I said earlier was, where were the exterior shots of Yavin 4 shot? Like, what real-world location? And I'm thinking, like, well, I feel like I know. Let me look it up. I'm like, oh, okay. And then this little piece of information is really interesting because Oscar Isaac is from the country, or his family's from Guatemala. And he always loved that, that his country was in the first Star Wars movie. So when they wrote Poe Dameron's origin story, they had him from Yavin 4, So now I'll always remember that Tikal, Guatemala is where they filmed the Yavin 4 exterior shots. Another, Tikl.
Oh, Tikl.
I think it's Tikl.
Okay.
Tikal. So Guatemala. And then another one that's interesting like that is there is a character that's on the Tantive 4 with Darth Vader, and he says about Leia, holding her is dangerous. If word of this gets out, she might generate sympathy in the Senate for the rebellion. And I'm like, okay, who's this guy's name? And his name is Dane Jeer. And on the Wikipedia page about him, there is a behind-the-scenes thing that some people speculate that his name derives from what he says, which is dangerous, Danger. So if I think about that guy, think of his line, holding her as dangerous, I know his name is Danger. So another deep cut, but I'm trying to keep that information and have a story to tell so I can try to keep it
I
up.
would remember to call a different way because it's a historical site, first of all, but it's also a board game.
Danger.
To call.
To call.
To
Okay.
call.
To call. Is that how you say it? To call?
Yeah.
Okay. I keep saying T-call.
I opened up this.
Tikal.
I looked it up in Google and open images, and there's one shot. I'm like, man, that looks like Gavin.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have these pyramids and stuff, and trees everywhere. and It's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna remember that now.
So anyway, a lot of fun things like that. That's been my week, and that's gonna be my week for the next bunch of weeks.
For a lot of
All of
weeks.
But I'm having
All
fun.
the weeks.
It's fun to I've never been a great student, especially in school. But whenever you're passionate about something, studying doesn't feel like work.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a fantastic opportunity to expand my vocabulary of Star Wars.
Good stuff. Aaron, any good things for your week? I saw you played in the snow a little bit.
Yeah, we had our snow, so played in the snow and stuff. Kids have fun with the snow too. They wanted to go out. Ayla really wanted to go out a few nights ago, when we had that first snowing. But I was like, there was no snow, and it was just muddy. And we're like, just wait a day or two, and you'll be able to go out and play. And then we had snow, and they're like, yes.
Yeah, we had a true blue snow day.
Yeah, it was nice.
When's the last time at Blind Wave or you have ever had a snow day? Because Calvin has been out, and we got ahead on our stuff, so we didn't have much to film because we
let's
didn't
just
want
stay
Calvin to
home.
miss anything.
Well, usually not,
So-
because usually when it snows, I'm still trying to come in.
Exactly.
Whether I have to walk miles to my truck
Yeah.
in the snow to get here.
I mean, I would have snow days at college.
Yeah.
Because the colleges would be closed.
Sure.
Yeah.
But every job I've ever had, it's snow, who cares? Get here,
Better
But
get
this was
here.
our first, and usually that's the way with Blind Wave anyway.
Yeah.
But because we got ahead to make up for Calvin not being here for 2 weeks, we were like, let's just stay home and do your stuff from home. We're not doing any recording. So we had a true blue snow day. So you went out sledding.
Yeah, my kids love to sled. The only thing, though, is there's a dangerous section of our house where there's the deck, and there's a tree, and then there's remnants of an old tree that had fallen that's all stumps now.
Yeah.
Just left there. So like you have to make sure you choose where you want to go and then aim carefully. And then when you get almost to the end, you got to jump off real quick. Or you're gonna run into trees and stuff.
That's the thing. Like on the farm, we had perfectly good hills that you could sled and you'll be safe the whole time. But we always pick the one that has like 7 trees, and at the end there's a road.
Yeah.
So you got to jump off before you hit the road.
Well, at my parents' house, we had like Rick knows, like my parents' house has like this big hill.
Oh God.
And it was fun to sled down. You could pick up some speed. However, at the very bottom, there was like maybe 3 feet of flat bottom of this hill, and then it was a creek that dropped down like 3-4 feet down into the creek. So like you had to like go down and then jump off early because you're gonna slide more down that way, and there was nowhere to stop. So eventually we started going another way that was a little less of a hill, and it kind of like you went down and then it curved you around, and it was pretty fun because the one way was just too dangerous. it was too much. We were like, I always wanted to build a ramp. Like, man, we could go so fast and then hit this ramp at just the right angle. You could go over this creek. It'd be great. But now that I'm not a kid, there's been so many years, and that creek's just eroded.
Sure.
Like, it's deeper and wider than it's ever been. I used to be able to jump over as a kid. I can't jump over it now as an adult. It's terrible. So, but yeah, no, that was fun. The other things were, we've been doing Hitman for Twitch streams on Fridays.
Yeah.
And I had never played the first Hitman. Not like the first Hitman. Not like that one, but just the Hitman of the new trilogy. And I went back and was playing that some and beat it, and it was pretty fun.
That's cool.
And then I got hung up on the Hitman 2 sniper missions I had never done before, so that was a good little chunk of my week as well.
We should say that you took some pictures in the snow, and somehow Blind Wave fans got a hold of them.
Imagine. Man,
some of them are great. Some of them are. That one's so funny.
These posted on like social media and stuff, and then they were taken so quick.
Some of them are so good.
Put in Discord so quick.
This one is. Don't zoom out.
The Brazers. No, yeah. Melanie hit me with a snowball too at one. She had caught me at one point, and then they were taking a picture, and I was just standing there, and then she hit me with another one. I was standing there for a picture of the one I already been hit with. I was like, what the hell? But yeah. Oh, jeez.
That one's so scary.
I haven't seen that one.
Which one?
The Titan one.
Oh. What about this Titan one, huh?
Jeez. That looks scary too.
This one is the most disturbing.
What the hell?
I appreciate, though, they took the covered one. Yeah, that one's cool.
I gotta make this bigger so I can see them all. I haven't seen all these. Oh my god. That one's
so funny. Oh, yeah, classic. That's a classic.
Oh, man.
Yeah, if you're...
reference.
Yeah, that's for you,
Oh,
Rick.
yeah, this is from the Hint-Hunt.
I found him.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I'm following with Palpatine.
Why, Aaron? Why are you disrespecting him like that?
Why am I happy?
Oh, that's great.
Bernie?
Yeah, what's this one?
We're like the multiverse one. It's a bunch of different
It's a bunch of different views. Okay.
There's dabbing,
Aaron. There's
Christmas me. Sax me.
Yeah.
Saxy me. That should be called Saxy Aaron.
Fantastic. That's great.
Is that the last one?
Okay. Oh, no, I did have one more. That one had a different name, so I wasn't sure if it was one for it or not. But yeah, there's the last
Dang
one.
Bebo ones.
Oh, fantastic.
That's Lounging Eric. That's double mean.
Man, when I weighed another 120 pounds, I could go out in the snow like that and be fine.
Are you cold now?
I get so cold.
Remember Cold Day in America?
This is what's like to be skinny, I guess.
I guess. So you don't wear shorts outside anymore?
No, man. I shake when I'm wearing gloves.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean wearing?
I'll have gloves on. I'm still like... It's crazy.
Makes sense. I don't know. I guess as long as I've always worn pants. Like usually I grew up just wearing jeans. Like I wore jeans for everything. And they weren't even the cool stretchy ones yet then, you know? Where they could like... It was like I was playing dodgeball wearing jeans. Everyone else wearing like gym shorts and stuff. But... Yeah, I don't know. I never went outside. I don't like going outside without pants right now in the snow or the cold or whatever.
Even I went and played in the snow as well. And the last time we went, her old sled like shattered because I tried to go down the hill with her, and that was just a mistake.
What kind of sled do you have? Is it like one of the...
Well, so the old one was just like...
Because I saw a tweet of you with like it was like a old school looking sled,
Like
you
a
know?
toboggan.
Yeah, so the one we had before was just like a plastic molded sled sort of thing. That one just shattered. So then we got one that was, it was like wooden boards on top of like a metal frame.
A metal frame, yeah.
Yeah, and it was like heavy duty. So it's probably like 4 feet long, I would say. Maybe even a little longer than that. And it's a heavy sucker. So I was carrying it to where we went sledding, like up with like the Dragon Slayer on top of my shoulder.
Yeah.
But we were both able to go on that one. And that one, because of like the construction and like the smoothness of the metal and the extra weight, I think, we went so much farther. Because before, like we could go and it'd be in no danger of going into the road whatsoever. But with this one, I would have to put my feet down.
Yeah.
Because we were road bound.
So do you have to like, with this one with the metal frame and everything, it's like a sled?
Yeah.
So do you have to like prepare the snow or anything, or you just go?
We just went.
Okay.
It's got a plow on the front of it,
Okay.
too. So
Because I know like the ones my kids have now are kind of like that, like a foam kind of thing with handles, and then it has like that plastic bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So usually like your first time down's pretty good, but once you get like an area really kind of like made out, you know, like you can just, it goes so much faster.
Oh, yeah.
Once it packs it down a little bit and everything.
Yeah, the first one is definitely the worst
Yeah.
one.
So that's why I wasn't sure like if you had to do a thing and get it all set up.
No.
Because Ayla had like, she was using this plastic one that was just, it was all plastic, and you sat in it and your feet like had little divots for your feet to go. And she would sit on that and it wouldn't go very well, and then it would turn sideways and then she'd just flip over and start rolling
And
down
you
the
might
hill.
have gotten more snow at your house too. Like we just barely had enough snow here in town to make it work. So
Gotcha.
There wasn't any like big buildups of it anywhere.
My hill took it all.
Maybe.
When I was a kid, my dad would go down. We have a little junkyard around over the hill, and he would like tear off the roof of like a really junky car. He'd just like rip it off, and then we would all get on top of like that metal big slab of dangerous, like sharp metal, and then take that down a hill.
We would
That sounds
great times.
Fun.
we would tie
The memories are so vivid.
we would tie giant tires or inner tubes to either a four-wheeler or a truck
I was gonna ask if anyone's ever done
or
that.
something, and just like go up to my Uncle Alan's or whatever, big giant open fields, and just go.
We do that too. A 3-wheeler is what we used.
I've done that on a 4-wheeler before, and then like on a boat as well. Like I've done it there too. Both of them are pretty fun, but you gotta hope with the snow and the 4-wheeler that it's gonna do well and they don't wreck and spin out on theirs, and then you're all caught up in a mess. But it's fun.
Yeah, it's because like you're fine as long as you're going, but if they take a sharp turn, then you just get whipped off.
Yeah, you try to hold on like, oh!
It just doesn't work.
I wasn't that strong as a kid back then, I'm not holding on to this.
Well, and,
just fly off.
It's not like there was handles or anything to hold on to either.
It was just a rope, right?
I mean, a rope, yeah.
Like you didn't have like a wooden thing like skiing, right? Like mine was just like a rope, and you don't want to wrap it around your arm.
No.
You don't want to do that.
Definitely don't want to do that.
Whenever
It might be tied to the thing, maybe, but I also had one because we had like these round plastic sled things, and it had a hole which was made for a rope for you to drag back up the hill.
Yeah.
Not for you to tie to a 4-wheeler.
Yeah.
So ours would break off eventually because it would be like taking us around for so long. And
those round, like either plastic or like kind of like a hard metal sleds. I love those, but they never lasted to the next year because in the summer I would always drill holes in them and make them into shields for sword fighting. They were perfect for shields. Even the like longer, more rectangular ones were good for like big giant shields, and we would use those to stick fight like every summer, and they just get destroyed.
Sure.
So I have to get a new sled next time. So back to the junkyard.
back to the junkyard. Let me find another piece of jagged metal.
Yep.
But yeah, no. It's fun. I enjoy like having like little snow days and stuff too, and
Yeah.
the kids have fun.
Definitely. Yeah, because we got the sled after the last one broke, and then it just hadn't snowed.
Yeah.
Like, that might have been the last snow. We might not even get to use this
Well,
year.
yeah, that's true. It's hard to tell sometimes. Like sometimes we don't get a lot of snow. Sometimes we get like snow consistently. Sometimes we just get like one big one and then never again. And
Yeah, the worst one I ever remember was when I was a kid. It came in March. And that was like the
Wasn't
biggest
that like
one we had.
94 or something like that?
Like that, yeah.
That was, yeah, I remember that one because at the farm where our garden is, there's this kind of drop off, and then there's a road that goes by the main garden. And the wind drift of snow off of that, it was like a patch of snow that was like 25 feet deep. And we just jumped in it and made like rat tunnels, and it was one of the greatest winters of my life.
didn't we had to have one later than that, I think, right? Because I know that I was going to Bartlett because we lived over there, and that was around second grade. So in 94, I would have only been about 5, so about kindergarten or so. But I remember doing it, like my dad shoveled the driveway, and there was just these huge piles of snow, and I did the same. I would dig into them and make tunnels in these giant piles of snow and like dig around. It was so cool. But I feel like that would have been when 95, 96, like 98 or so when I moved. So I think it probably would have been like maybe 2000s, or it couldn't have been. I don't think it was around episode 1.
Gotcha.
But it could have been. But I just remember that. I don't remember the 94 one.
Well,
because that would have been.
Were you here in 94?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we moved to Ohio when I was like 2
Oh,
from Wyoming.
that's right, because you went to a different school.
I went
in
to
Ohio
Barlow
before.
Yeah,
that's right.
I went to BV from kindergarten to second grade. In the middle of second grade, I ended up coming to Bartlett. So
That's right.
So whatever your second grade was, it would have been after that when we had another big snow. So I think it was probably 2 around this area that we had.
Yeah, well, we had another big one. Like my parents were without electricity for, I think it was like 10 days or something.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think that one was bigger because I don't think we lost electricity in the one I'm thinking of. But that one was that's the biggest one that I remember of just like playing in.
During the big floods, how did that affect you guys?
When was that?
Like, can you remember, like, the biggest floods? There's been 2 gigantic floods that have happened in my lifetime.
The one I was at my grandmother's, and like I was supposed to come home that night, but there was too much water, and I couldn't come home.
Yeah.
So that's really the only one that's ever affected me personally.
Gotcha.
I
Like,
remember-
the building that we're in right here had, like, 6 feet of water in its first floor, is how high it was.
6 feet.
Yeah.
That's up into your collection area.
That's so much water. Yeah. I know.
I mean, we had our creek and stuff. I remember water getting filled up into. So, like, we had our house, and then the right side just kind of tapered down slowly towards where the creek was. I remember that kind of overflowing and being filled up a bit. And then the left side had, like, a hill that went down and out. And I remember that kind of raising up, but it never got to the house or anything. And I don't think it ever covered, like, our. The worst thing is that our driveway goes over the creek. Mm-hmm. And the water flow would have had to gone under it, and we were like, is it going to be safe? Is it going to wash away our driveway and we're going to be stuck down here? So, but no, it was okay. I don't think it affected us too much.
Now, the only, like, if it would rain a lot, our phone lines would get messed up
If it rained a lot?
where we lived. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, in Lower Salem, it feels like all the water in the area just goes down there. Mm-hmm. But during one of the biggest floods, my brother was house sitting for a family like in Whipple, about 10 miles away, because they had gone to Disney World for like a week. And on the first day he was there, I wanted to go with him. Like, can I come too? Like, he's going to house sit the whole night because they have like 2 dogs and like a potbelly pig and a bunch of like alpacas and stuff like on this farm. So he's supposed to just make sure the house is okay and stay there overnight because they were like the rich people in the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
So I went with him and I spent the night, and when we woke up, the entire house, which is up on a hill, was surrounded with water. Like, it looked like the small creek had become a literal lake.
Yeah.
Is how big it was.
Wow.
Water as far as you could see. And we were stuck there for 11 days.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, now
11
there
days?
were 11
Man.
days. Like, literally, on the other side of the road by the creek, we watched helicopters come down and take people out of their homes. We were fine because the water wasn't to the house. It was about 20 feet away from the house, but we were stuck on this new island, and we had 11 days in this gigantic, rich house to just waste time while we waited for the water to
Did
go
you have
down.
electricity?
Yeah.
I think I
No,
kind of remember
I'm
the
sorry.
story.
We did not have electricity.
Wow.
They tried. I think they put it back on like I don't know, 6 or 7 days into it, but we still couldn't get out.
Did you have water? Like, could you flush the
We
toilets?
did have water because they have a well. We could flush the toilets. We were by the end of it. We were eating like hot dog buns.
Is this isn't the same flood then that you guys filmed a zombie
No,
video?
this was the first flood. I was a lot younger for this. But yeah, it was like 11 days, and it was us, 2 dogs, a potbelly pig, and alpacas just on this little island.
Did you have to eat them?
No, we didn't eat them.
Oh, okay.
They all had food and everything. We were
Okay.
fine. Like at one point, we could see this guy on a 4-wheeler, like going up into the woods and around and getting as close to us as possible, and screaming like, "Are you okay? Do you need help? Your mom's asking about you." Because she had called down, because we didn't have a telephone. It wasn't working.
Sounds like you lived Panya.
Yeah, it's pretty much what happened. It was like a really crazy time in my life, but once the water went down, the entire property was caked in about a foot of mud.
Yeah.
And we spent another week just cleaning. And they came back when everything was done. How was Disney World? Yeah.
I don't think it was one of the big floods, but I went to Kings Island with my grandmother and an aunt. And while we were there, it rained and it rained and it rained. And we went out to leave, like, late at night to get to the parking lot in the cars.
Yeah.
And the parking lot was flooded.
Yeah. That would happen at Kings Island.
And, like, they didn't
Tell you
think
anything,
to, like,
announce
announce
it.
it over the speakers or anything, It's just, we got there and, man, I remember my aunt being furious.
Yeah.
Eric, could you imagine if, like, you guys ran out of food, they came back from Disneyland, like, shit's just terrible, you ate their pig, like...
He burned down parts of the house for fire.
Yeah, right.
just trying to live.
But yeah, I mean, you can actually
books.
see some of the pictures of the 2004 flood if you looked them up,
Here,
Rick.
I'll look them up.
Some of them are crazy, like people in canoes going down Front Street, I mean, this is right outside where we are right now. But I mean, it's crazy. It's why every building that's built new in Marietta is like 8 feet up.
Yeah. Here, let me get this one here.
No, not Cobbler John's.
Yeah, people from WaveCon will recognize this.
The Wendy's. Dude,
So
I remember...
one of these happened
I
in
remember Rack's Roast Beef. I
Yeah.
used to love that place. That place got flooded all the damn
Yeah.
time.
Well, I mean, I remember in the 90s, a big flood happened, and then in 2004 is whenever this big flood happened. And since then, they've changed around how the levees work
Yeah.
and all the dams and stuff systems. It should never do this again. I mean, you can't predict the
we
weather.
just fuck up people below us.
Yeah. But, like, what happened? Yeah, I know. But what happened there? Like, they have to choose when and where they release these levees whenever it floods.
Yeah.
So what happened there should never happen again.
Well, I remember more
Knock
recently
on
there
wood.
was worry because, like, that's how they work. But up north was like they were going to choose to release something. And it's like, we don't know how that's going to affect us.
Mm-hmm.
We may be getting a lot more now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember Rack's Roast Beef. I used to love that place. It was one of my favorite places to go and eat. And they got flooded like one big time. We're like, oh man, that's terrible. And they made it through. But I remember like another second.
Holy
big-
shit, look at Rex.
Huh? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I didn't know you had the picture up. Sorry.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that, man.
Yeah. I'm in the middle of talking about
No, I
Rack's.
know you're
Yeah.
talking about it. I forgot what it looked like, and I forgot it was right there.
It's where Tudor's is now.
Yeah.
But yeah, like they after the second big flood is I think they were just like, fuck it, we're out. We can't do it anymore, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, I remember, I think it's a tax place now, but it was like an ice cream place, but they just built like that giant mound mountain on Pike.
Yeah.
Where that tax place is now.
Yeah. That's where the
okay,
ice cream
yeah,
place was
yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah,
that
new
place.
places have to do that, especially in the commercial zone. For that picture, anybody that knows where that is so far away from the river.
Yeah.
This was not when you moved here to Dababa, no.
No.
There was our
2004 was the last big one.
Yeah, the biggest flood we've had since then was probably when Dababa moved here. Like we had some pretty high water, and they were wondering if it was going to get across the street and whatnot.
Yeah.
That got pretty high, but it didn't get
It got
nearly
pretty
this
high.
high. It didn't even reach our buildings.
No. The levees changed that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be like a super, super, super freak storm to get that high anymore. But, yeah, in 2004, during that flood, me and my friends were together, and the entire town flooded, and we decided it was the perfect setting for a zombie movie. So we got a camera, and we went down, and we filmed this zombie movie. So it was like the shittiest, stupidest movie you ever seen with the world's biggest budget, because we literally had an entire flooded town.
Sure.
So all of our zombies were walking through the water, and all the establishing shots were like this entire town flooded. It's like, how'd you get the effects for this?
You shot the rodeo.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that movie was lost to time. I don't know where it happened to it.
You
I've
shot
seen it.
the rodeo?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
What you
it existed at least within the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Did you say you shot the rodeo?
That's the term of like a low budget film will like shoot the movie, and then an event will be happening near where they're shooting, and they just shoot it. Or like they, redesign the movie to fit that thing.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay for it because it's already happening. They just get the permit or whatever, and they just shoot it.
So it'd be like in Karate Kid 2, like an actual hurricane shows up, and they just film the events of this hurricane being there, and then they just fit it into the movie.
Yeah, it's called shooting the rodeo.
Let's do a Star Wars trivia question off of this, because whenever they're filming for Hoth in the snow, the location they were in had like one of the biggest snowstorms they had ever had the night before, and they literally couldn't go out of their hotels. They opened the hotel door, they dressed Mark Hamill up in his outfit, and they just had him walk out the door, and that's the shot of Hamill going through the blizzard on Hoth. They're inside with like cocoa and like fires and stuff. They're like real cozy, shooting out the hotel front door at Mark Hamill.
Is that him walking away?
It's him walking away, yeah.
Can we get a flamethrower? What?
Have you ever seen that video of a guy using a flamethrower to like
For his driveway?
through his driveway? It's like
Yeah.
across the street.
Yeah, I don't think I want a
That wouldn't
flamethrower in my
work.
house.
I've seen people use like snow blowers and stuff, but more often than not, all the Canadians say just use leaf blowers. I had to shovel this weekend because that snow was so sludgy. I was afraid it was gonna freeze.
Sure.
Yeah, I did too. We had a snowblower, but it stopped working. I only got to use it for like a season. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Well, I got a couple things.
No, Dababa, it is not a lie. Eric said this weekend. Melanie shoveled before I woke up a day or two ago. So it is not a lie. When did you shovel?
I've got a couple articles here suggested on our Discord live Twitch channel.
Okay.
And then maybe we can get into some questions if we don't have anything else. Although, Aaron and I did have one thing we wanted to talk about.
Aha, yes. I had two things.
So I will go with this one first. Nintendo profits soar as people play games during the pandemic. Nintendo company reported Monday that its profits for the 3 fiscal quarters, how much do you think they're up from the previous
Money-wise?
year?
How am I going to know?
Pick one.
As a percentage.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pick a percentage.
Yeah.
We're comparing what the last quarter or the last year or what?
The last 3 fiscal quarters to the previous.
3 fiscal quarters?
Well, so like Q1, Q2, Q3 of 2020 versus Q1, Q2, Q3 of 2019.
Is it up like 120% or something like that?
Okay, so now that Aaron has had his guess, I'm gonna say that it's closest without going over.
Yeah.
121%.
121%.
Nearly doubled.
So like, is that 100% now?
100%.
That's 100%. So I'm closer.
As people around the world stayed home for the pandemic and turned to games. The Japanese video game maker behind the Super Mario and Pokemon franchises said its April to December profit surged to 376.6 billion yen
Nice.
from 196 yen the previous year. Its 9-month sales jumped 37%.
See, that kind of fits into with some things that I was looking at yesterday or day before. I was listening to like a podcast and like a conversation that these people were having where they were talking about it was about video games in 2020 and how things like Nintendo Switch, like you could, if you look in Google, you can look at the correlation of like when people were searching quarantine and then when people started searching for Switch and how many more times they were looking for like Nintendo Switch or when the quarantines and stuff started happening.
Gotcha.
And like 2020, when a lot of people thought that the game industry was going to do terrible because people were going to be quarantined without money and whatever else,
right.
it surprisingly did like the opposite, because even though people weren't having money, they also didn't have anything else to do.
Sure.
So they were spending money on games and stuff, and it did really well.
And there was some really cool developers out there that like offered some games for free and stuff.
Sure. They did a lot of that kind of stuff. So like you might have bought a Switch and then you got some extra cool free things or whatever else without having to spend a lot of extra money on games and whatnot. But the downside of that is that because of that same reasoning, those games had been in production for a while, right? Like Spider-Man, Miles Morales is out now, but they had also been working on that beforehand.
Sure.
So since we couldn't work, the issues that they've come across in the gaming industry for future games and the delays that have been happening, which we've also seen with movies and stuff. So like their theories and discussions and stuff led into like 2021 might have a gap in like quality gaming.
It'll have a gap of like the blockbusters.
Yeah,
probably.
exactly. Like they're the looking of like any big AAA companies releasing these bigger names and whatnot. It might be a better year for people that are indie developers, like very small or a one man. How many games have come out where it's like, hey, this is a cool game and one guy did all this. You know, like this might be a good year for those to happen because we're still not out of the COVID stuff, but people are still looking for things to do and play and whatnot too. So it might be.
You seen the one guy in Dreams that's just making an Avatar: The Last Airbender game, and it's awesome.
I've heard about that. I haven't
really
played
cool.
it at all, but I've heard it's supposed to be pretty good.
Someone tweeted at me that a Avatar: The Last Airbender tabletop role-playing game is in development for next year.
That'd be good.
That'd be kind of cool too.
That could be cool.
But
I want to be Appa.
I don't know. I'm just interested in what gaming communities for board games, video games, whatever else, like what they do as far as that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I haven't looked at it, but I wonder how board games have done.
Yeah, I
this
don't
year.
know.
Because like I imagine family board games maybe have done pretty well because like games you can play with your wife and your kids and everyone, but like the Magic the Gatherings and like the stuff that you need to play with people maybe outside of the household. Like I wonder how all that's gone.
I know a lot of the Magic the Gathering people play online now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
See, and that might have hit more too.
Yeah.
Like done better and whatnot.
Now I know they do like digital version of the game, but I imagine there's a way that you can actually set up some cameras and play with physical cards too.
You definitely
right?
could, and I've done that
Yeah.
over the pandemic through Discord and stuff. But there's stuff like Tabletop Simulator, but not all of that is like official stuff. That money's going to go to the actual makers of the board game. Some of it does, but some of it is just like modded stuff that you can download.
Tell you what, when I was into Magic the Gathering, which was once in high school and once after, you did get that like crack addict like complex where it's like, I'm gonna go get a new booster pack and I'm gonna open it and what's in there? I get another one.
And like
I definitely like was one of those things where like if I had money, I would spend way too much on this.
I mean, it was pay to win before pay to win, right?
It really was. I mean, Pokemon was kind of like that too. It's like, I hope I get a good one. I hope I get one. It's a loot box,
Oh yeah.
But we accept it then. It's good then. But now loot boxes are all bad.
I didn't play competitive card stuff a lot back then though.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's necessarily pay to win in the same sense of like, if you paid enough and got this card, did that mean that you would most likely win? Or is it just like you got to pay more to get this stuff, and it's basically loot boxes, but maybe not pay to win?
I heard they were bringing back like poison or disease or something like that. Have you heard that?
In Magic?
Yeah.
Eric.
I know. That's such an Aaron
An
move.
infect deck is
and
coming
I
back.
thought of Aaron.
Oh, man.
That's what he did.
I had such a
He's like, now
badass
you're all
infect
infected.
deck.
All your things are infected. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no doctors.
Dude, okay, so infect deck.
I just short off your area too.
An infect deck was so good because in Magic the Gathering you had, I think it was like 30 health. Is that what it was? It sounds right. 30
Yeah,
health.
30
is what your
No,
person had.
it was 20 because you used D20 to track it, right?
Okay, so it had 20.
It was
then,
20,
right?
yeah.
Infect deck would infect you, and it would take half as many hits to your person to kill you. You couldn't heal them, and I don't think you could remove them. And then not just that, but if you were attacking, like say you had a 10-10 tank, right? If my 1/1 creature hit and combated your 10-10 tank, my 1/1 creature died, but it infected your creature and made it a 9/9.
Ugh.
So now you had a 9/9 tank.
Isn't that gross? Like I had like, here's my angel deck. Here's my Birdman deck. That's not an angel.
So Eric would just be trying to heal.
He's like, here's my infect deck.
And I'm like, well, that doesn't matter. I hit you 10 times, you lose. You know?
This is why we had coronavirus.
It was so good, and I loved it. And then like the next season or so, they started shifting away from that, and then eventually it became not standard. Whatever the not wild, because that's Hearthstone.
Yeah,
you know
Hearthstone
what I mean?
It's called wild.
Yeah, there's like the old. There's like standard, modern.
Legacy,
there's like different decks that they have. It eventually fell out of that. But the time that I played my Infect deck, I loved it so much. It didn't beat everything, but it was still fun, pretty good. And
fun for you.
Yeah, it was fun.
Not for the other person.
I had fun with it. It was great.
That's. I guess I never really got to my best things of the week, but I got a new board game and I finished my playthrough of it, 1960. Oh no, I can't remember the name of it now.
69.
The board game?
Yeah.
Is it the one that you just got?
Yeah.
I forget.
Just.
You have no more information.
Man,
because you were talking to me about this like last week. You're like, I just got this game.
I've just really been blanking today. 1960. The something to the president.
Something to the president.
The making of the president. Yeah.
Wait, the making of the president?
Yeah. 1960.
Is this why you started watching like these Richard Nixon whatever things?
Yeah. So
you were looking for a board game and you just found this, and that was your rabbit hole?
Well, yeah. So what happens when it comes to a historical board game? Like, historical board games and war games usually have longer rule books than normal board games.
Sure.
Or at least they have more words because they don't have as many pictures or something. But whenever I get one of these new board games, I say, well, okay, I've got a 1,000-page rule book to read. Because I read the rule book, but then I also read 1 or 2 books about the subject. And then I watch like documentaries and lectures and stuff too. Just try to like immerse myself in the world as or before I'm playing the game.
And this is for historical ones.
Yeah.
Like you didn't do this for like the Camelot game or anything.
No.
Where you're like, okay, let me see the story. Now let me read on like King Arthur and all that.
Yeah, so I put out there on Twitter like recommendations for books. And some people recommended like the real 1960, The Real Making of the President. But I decided to read, because that book is basically a counterpoint to 1960, The Making of the President, the book. So I started with that book, and then I'm going to read the counterpoint. I've watched all the debates, I've watched the election results, I've watched a couple documentaries. But I just go down these deep holes. But I finally did play and finish the game.
Ooh, you finished it.
I did.
Is it a single-player game?
It's not.
Okay.
But I frequently play these.
Do you play 2 sides?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I enjoy it that way because I'm the opposite of Aaron. And that when I play games, the most important thing for me is that the other people are having fun.
Sure.
You know?
I want to crush them. I want them to never play again, Rick.
So,
yeah, I love losing the game while I still have like all my regular health. Like, all right, you beat me.
So, when I get to play games solo by myself, like I don't have that worry about whether or not the other person's having fun.
Sure.
So like I can take all the time I want to take my turn. You know, I can try things that might, otherwise annoy someone or something. You just have complete freedom. And like it doesn't work perfectly because you know what's in the other player's hand. You have information that you wouldn't necessarily have necessarily. But you can mitigate that with like some randomness or dice rolls. Like if I'm playing a multiplayer game, I'll assign like personalities to the different players. And so like this player has a much more higher percentage to do an aggressive action.
Gotcha.
And this player is going to be more focused on economics or something like that.
So you give your own character selves personalities?
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
And I try to play the game that way. If it is a historical game, like I'll sometimes try to play as historical as possible, and that can dictate some of your decisions as well.
Okay.
But yeah, I played it. It's absolutely an amazing and fantastic game.
Nice.
Absolutely loved it. The history just jumps off, but it's a very simple game in its rule set. But there's a lot of very complex and hard decisions in it, and that's some of my favorite games.
Gotcha.
Where it's easy to teach someone, but on your turn, you're just pulling your hair out, trying to think, man, if I do this, then they're going to do this. Maybe I can do this, but then they'll do this. So I had a good time. If there's anyone out there who would want to play online with me, hit me up on Discord, and maybe we can get that going, because I'm looking for opponents.
Maybe it's on tabletop.
I would probably play it on Vassal, which is a free software.
There's Vassal.
Yeah, Vassal. Vassal's cool because you can play it in real time, but you can also do like play over email. So like you can make a move, it'll email it to someone, and then they make a move, and you can play something over a few months or something that way.
Gotcha.
So good stuff. I also started the Blind Wave Irregulars Hint-Hunt
You did.
yesterday.
Yeah.
These guys here.
Irregulators. I wish it would have been called Irregulators. Every time I always just want to go Irregulators and yell it out, but
So yeah, I started that proper yesterday. I did not get very far, and
Well, I was sitting next to you on my machine here because you were right there working on it, and you got far.
well, so
I mean, you went down a lot of avenues. All that distance adds up.
so I've been recording locally, like me working on it. We might
Yeah.
do something with that later and release it, but I don't know. It's similar to my own hint hunts in that I don't know how far the journey is.
I get you.
You know, so like I have a wall in front of me, but I can't see past that wall.
You
So
don't
I
have-
have no idea how long the runway is. All I can see is this wall.
I understand what you mean. Yeah.
it's like you have a wall, but you don't know how thick it is. You just
Yeah.
know you gotta get through it.
Yeah.
Right? It
Yeah.
could be an inch thick. It could be a foot thick.
It's also one of those things where it's like, okay, so the fans know that we barely have enough time to get stuff done normally. So how much time do they think I have to get this finished?
Yeah.
You know? So it can't go that deep. And then I see you over there, and yeah, you went pretty deep.
Well, yeah, and like I read the riddle, and like I had an answer in my mind as to what I thought it was.
Yeah.
But like there's so many different avenues to that answer that I can input into the password thing. So like I don't know if I just haven't put in the right password or if I'm just on the wrong path completely.
Yeah.
It's like
It's been a lot of fun.
what was that? I don't know what I was looking at. There was something I was looking at where it was like an employee test thing, right? And you had to answer 100% and get it right. And one was like, after going to the bathroom, what must you do? And they put in wash your hands, and it made it incorrect. But the options they would take was wash hands, wash space hands, wash capital W,
right.
capital H. You know, push them together, no space. There was like all these versions of like
space hands.
yeah, it was all these versions of like washing hands, but
Yeah.
there was not wash your hands. It was not one of the answers in there.
Ridiculous.
So it said they got it wrong. And I was like, that's so ridiculous.
So the good thing about my hint hunts as compared to this one is either they're human reviewed via Twitter.
Yeah.
So if you're close enough, you can just have it.
Yeah.
Or if it's something that I program, I will, in the code, take out spaces, make everything lowercase.
Yeah.
So like there's not these different varieties, or I'll program in a bunch of different varieties.
Sure.
So like for the hint hunt, like dungeon crawler game, like for the riddles, like if an answer was like a mirror, I would put mirror, looking glass, mirrors.
Yeah.
You know, and try to make it so you didn't have to get exactly what it is. But with
Sure.
this password field, I have to get it exactly right. I have to get the capitalization right. I have to get the spacing right. I have to get the symbols right. So.
And I mean,
been an
the big
adventure.
thing, like compared to what you do to them versus what they're doing to you, is that they have 100 people working on it at once.
That's the other thing too. Is
You know,
like,
it took them. Oh yeah, this took them 2 days. I'm like, yeah, there's 100 of you.
yeah, so I've got like tunnel vision on my
Exactly.
answer. And like if I had another voice over here being like, yeah, but what about this? I could be like, oh, and then I could like turn the tunnel this way
Yeah.
and go down. So it's been good though.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of them.
I'm so very proud.
We'll see. Maybe I'll get the answer. I'll be like, that can't possibly be the answer.
What?
That's terrible.
.com.
I want to know how I get them to do squats.
Yeah.
How do we get them to use?
How do I make that happen? Are the rest of Blind Wave not allowed to help?
I don't know.
I haven't.
Think so.
I'm not really sure what the rules are
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't know what the rules are either. It was all about Rick. I don't think I was mentioned once in that video, so I figured it wasn't for me.
Yeah.
So I didn't
I
mess with
do
anyone.
involve them sometimes in the creation of the hints.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll like ask for like certain questions or something like that.
Try to get them to test the video games, but they never do.
I played it a little bit, but I didn't get nearly as far. Like, this is cool. I don't have time. But what?
I mean, that's where we got the Will Row Hood question. Empire Strikes Back in that one.
It's true.
I'm like, dude, there's this ice cream guy.
Yeah.
All right, with this crazy hair.
You're going to have to put that on your flashcard when it comes time.
Oh, I don't need to put that one
For
on
that
there.
movie.
The flashcards are stuff I don't know, Rick.
The rules are Rick can do whatever he wants and get help from whomever he wants to get help from, as long as they're not involved in the creation. Okay.
Ah. Now we can just have like a desk with all of us. We're just like drawing lines and connecting things, and
Yeah,
we just turn a whole room into like a.
using the red thread.
Yeah. We need some
points.
red. We need to get some red thread.
That could be fun. Yeah, we might have to do that. Definitely.
A murder board, yeah, kind of like a murder board. Dang it, Rick! I kept trying to look and find information on infection coming back. I'm like, where's this information? I might start playing again.
No one's gonna play with you.
Next thing of news I have, which is exciting for me, and probably only for me in this room, but big wrestling news. So AEW had been working with other promotions recently.
Okay.
So Sting has come in from
Ooh.
Impact Wrestling. That happened a while ago. But recently, kind of the white whale happened, if you will. So within the last, I don't know, probably in the last 10 years, definitely the last like 8, but not the last 2, I would say New Japan Pro Wrestling has been the best wrestling in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I'm not gonna know this person then.
Well, New Japan has partnered with AEW.
Okay.
So their talent is now going to be in AEW.
I don't know
Nice.
anyone from that wrestling.
You wouldn't
right?
know anyone.
Okay.
But they're some of the best, if not the best wrestlers in the
I
world.
was waiting for you. Like at first, when you said like the white whale, I'm like, oh man, who's he gonna name? What? Who'd they get?
Oh, it's crazy. And like a bunch of the people in AEW were in New Japan at some point or another. So there's already a bunch of built-in feuds and storylines that like can now be done in an American audience as well. Super exciting.
So what does that mean though for like with them like having collaboration or whatever? Like what's that? Are there characters gonna come over and be fighting in AEW stuff?
Yeah, and vice versa. as
How do
well.
we get their stories? Are they gonna be rebooting their stories for American audiences?
They
or?
will I mean, you have like video packages and stuff to like bring people up to speed. So I doubt that they're going to like ignore the history or retcon very much. It'll probably be mostly video packages or interviews, stuff like that. Like, obviously, most of the Japanese wrestlers don't speak English or speak it very well.
Okay.
So I don't know if they'll have managers or like if they'll translate it or how that's going to work. The big downside is, you know, we're still dealing with the pandemic. So there's not, like the door has been open and a wrestler has come over and a few others will, but we're not going to have the massive crossover that we're going to have in like a year or two.
Gotcha.
Once like we have the vaccines and stuff dies down and travel restrictions lift. So it's super exciting for the future, but it's pretty exciting right now.
Nice. Did I see that Edge just did something here in wrestling?
He did.
Yeah.
Spoilers for the Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
If
You care.
mute for 30 seconds, but Edge won the men's Royal Rumble.
Gotcha. Okay. Someone had just said that, and I was like, oh man, he's been in the recent seasons of Vikings.
Yeah.
He plays Flatnose. He's crazy. You know, he's a good actor and stuff, but sometimes he gets that look in his eyes, and I'm like, that's Edge, the wrestler, and it's great.
Yeah, I'm still on my boycott, so I haven't watched it.
I get you.
But yeah, he
You
won
heard that correctly.
And oh no, I can't remember her name. Who won the women's Rumble? I think it was Bianca Belair.
Bianca.
Belair. I don't think I know like anybody anymore, really.
Would be 2021.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Yeah,
in the
Bianca
playground
Belair.
around
How did you get to that? Because
Belair. Yeah. It's not a long road.
This year says becoming the first Black Royal Rumble winner in over 20 years. Oh, okay. I thought it was
not
all
a
time,
long road.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, people were mixed about the Edge thing.
Gotcha.
You know, some people think like they should be pushing new guys, and you know, he's an old guy. How many years does he have left? Like, it's not good for the company. They, you know, recently brought back Goldberg and did kind of the same thing with him.
Sure.
So it's like, you know, why aren't you building the new stars? But then again,
How similar
Edge
is this?
is amazing.
Gotcha, yeah. It's so similar to the Schmoe where a lot of people were upset that veteran players did not get drafted this year. A lot of rookies are in it this year.
A lot of new bloods.
A lot of new blood,
Okay.
so.
Good.
No, I
Now,
agree. You should not have rookies, I guess.
How does retiring work in the Schmoe? Like in wrestling,
Rick, you're gonna
There's no
ask
such thing as
how
retiring.
you're gonna ask a rookie who just got in how to retire?
I believe there's been a player that's retired while having a belt, not defending their title or something like that, and they had
Okay.
to like do a new thing for it
Sure.
or something. Yeah,
I mean, you got to respect for the business. If you're a rookie coming in, like, you got to know the history.
I'm learning. Yeah, Exactly. Now, a lot of these rookies, like, they put in, like, audition tapes. They didn't know the Schmoe very well. I was invited in. Like, someone was like, hey, would you like to do this? I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. All right, well, if you get drafted, you get drafted, you know? And then I have to kind of play catch-up. But some of these rookies, like, they know exactly what they're doing. They've been studying for years and years for just a chance to get in there, you know? So a couple of them are in the Schmoedown, and I think a lot of them are also going to be going into the first league, the first class league, which is like another Schmoedown league that's happening, which is it's kind of like a developmental league for people to get their name out there. So it's like a minor league kind of thing, right? In a way, it's to get attention and show people what you can do, and then that can get you in the Schmoedown.
It's an important part of wrestling. Like, you want people to iron out the creases in front of a live audience, but maybe not in front of a television audience.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's another thing too. Is like they're going to be doing that on Twitch, where their other stuff's done on YouTube, right? So,
I kicked my bag that's down here, and I looked down, and out of the corner of my eye, I saw the knight, and I got scared for a second. I was like, "Ah, who's that?"
He's going to tangle you.
I know.
Well, the other thing then, since you had wrestling brought up, Rick.
Yeah.
We were kind of talking a little bit about it before, but The Rock has a TV show coming out.
He does.
Called Young Rock.
Yeah, you guys were talking about this earlier. I was like in disbelief that this is a thing.
Yeah, this is a thing. There's a Young Rock TV show. It's supposed to be like a true comedy. I don't know how much truth's in it. I'm curious, but it's about The Rock in his younger years growing up. And I don't know what all they're going to cover. I saw a trailer. I think Rick watched it too. But
I did.
It looks interesting.
I immediately said, like, why not name it Pebble? And I thought, we're Little Rock.
Little Rock?
Yeah, because that's a capital.
It's trademarked, Rick. Arkansas owns a trademark or something.
I mean, he's got to have his name in there. People are going to be like, wait, that Rock?
Yeah.
And then they're going to tune in. But
I mean, I think the kids, I could believe they could grow up into The Rock, you know? Like, they look like little rocks. I don't know. Like,
well, you told me about it, and you didn't tell me there were other people playing him. I was like, how does he play himself? Even like,
yeah, well, because you were like, who's playing The Rock? I'm like, The Rock's playing him. I was like, what? I'm like, well, he's playing him, but so's like some other people and stuff. So
The Rock today looked like he ate Young Rock.
He does a lot.
It's like, I believe that Daniel Logan, young Boba Fett, could look like Tamira Morrison one day. You know,
yeah,
I buy that.
Yeah, it's just buying it, right?
Yeah.
So no, it looks interesting. It comes out this month. I forget when. February something in the teens.
Star Wars trivia. Sorry.
Oh, you bring it back around to Star Wars.
I just realized I did it.
Yeah, like I wonder how much of The Rock is like featured in it.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, obviously The Rock is super charismatic, and like I would watch something just because The Rock's in it, and I would watch something to learn more about the history of The Rock. But like you said, like how much history does this have in it
versus entertainment?
Versus entertainment.
I'm curious on what the ratio of truth to entertainment is in there, because lots of things can be based on events, but it might be based on like, oh, you know what? I went to high school.
Yeah,
like well, that really happened.
I know you haven't seen it, but like Bloodsport is based on true events. You know, and like
I haven't seen it. Yeah. I don't know. But no, I don't know. I'm interested to see what it's like. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna. I mean, it's also comedy. I don't know if it would be a good reaction or anything, but I definitely want to watch it and just kind of check it out, because I like The Rock too. You mentioned he was in the '70s show, and I was like, what? And I looked it up real quick. It's like I want to see this.
It's funny. Like every single day, every day we get 50, 100 like people do this show, do this show, do this show. And we do Young Rock.
And to clarify, Bloodsport at the beginning says it's based from a true story.
Yeah.
Like.
That's what
Mortal Kombat had that too. No, I'm kidding.
What did?
Nothing.
But it's not necessarily based in truth.
Yeah.
You know, kind of thing.
That's the thing too. Like, are you, like, can I just make any kind of movie and just put that in the front? Does it matter?
I mean,
wasn't. Oh damn. What else? There was some. What am I thinking of?
I mean, ghost shows do it all the time.
Yeah,
these are
like,
true events. No, they're not.
Did Blair Witch claimed it was, right?
It claimed it,
because even in the media, people were like so confused on what was going on, and
I
think like Paranormal Activity might have as well. You know, found footage kind of thing usually has like that kind of.
It's implied
pseudo
that this
claim
is real.
That this is real and based on yada yada and stuff. So, but I don't know. I always wonder like. When they say like this is based on a true story, is it like?
I mean, at the end of it, they'll have the legal thing of like this is a fictional story based on fictional characters. It's not meant to relate to
Yeah.
real life
It's a-
events or characters.
It's
or,
similar to
things-
like scripted reality shows. It's like, well, yeah, it's a reality show, but you have a guy saying like, all right, say this. All right, now let's say this. All right, edit that together.
yeah.
So I don't know. I always wonder if it's something crazy where it's like, you know what? I played basketball. I had a crazy journey. This point guard in the other team, his name was or I don't know, Ordo, whatever it was. And then like the story you make is about orcs, and you have an evil Ordo orc guy or something, and you're
Like, are we gonna watch Godzilla vs Kong? In the beginning, it says based on a true story. And you're like, what?
Yeah. But it's really about a crazy tennis match that two people had.
Well, yeah, that tennis match that they stepped on, that was real.
Yeah. Well, like, what if you take that? It's like there's a crazy battle and it was so crazy, but then it's based on a true story, but it's not even close to like.
I'm
well,
curious
these
to see-
people's names are the same, you know.
Curious to see what chat thinks is like the craziest one of those. Because the one that comes to my mind is Bloodsport, but I'm sure there's crazier ones out there that start with like
based on true story kind of things. Yeah, I don't
But
know.
the reason we were talking about that is I recently rewatched The Rundown.
Yeah.
And I was thinking to
Rundown's so
myself, like, oh, man, like, this was one of The Rock's first movies. Is it still one of his best movies? And I was going through in my mind, like, the Rock movies I've seen. I haven't seen a lot of, like, the recent ones.
Okay.
I was like, yeah, I think it still is in, like, my top 3, probably.
You had Walking Tall, which I
That's-
don't think was that good for me, really.
No, I mean, it's not terrible. But
Which was based on a true story.
based on a true story. That's right.
Walking Tall and Rundown, Scorpion King.
Which I love. I love the Scorpion
he
King.
was
I
in
like
that
the
first
Scorpion
one.
King.
I'm not gonna say that it's like a great movie, but I love the Scorpion King.
There's Hercules.
Hercules, which wasn't terrible.
I liked Hercules-ish.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was okay.
Yeah. It wasn't so much like crazy cartoon Greek, like, but it was more kind of more realistic-y.
What's
like
that
Hercules
one
thing.
with Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Let's see.
But
Classic Eric's
the-
conversation stopper.
He was in the Tooth Fairy, right? That was him, or was that the Vin Diesel?
Is that a real movie?
Damn it.
Yes, it is. And
No,
he's,
you're thinking of Pacifier with Vin
he's in the
Diesel.
Tooth Fairy.
He's in the
Yeah,
Tooth Fairy.
okay.
Yeah.
Pacifier is Vin Diesel.
yeah. I saw the Tooth Fairy. It wasn't great, from what I remember. I haven't seen Pain and Gain. I haven't seen any of his Fast and the Furious stuff.
I thought him and Fast and Furious
About
and
the
Hobbs and
race
Shaw
to
are
Witch Mountain.
fun.
I don't think I've seen that.
Journey 2.
I haven't seen that. I've seen Rampage, which was
I
pretty
haven't,
good.
I haven't seen Rampage yet. I
I
want
haven't
to
seen San
Get Smart.
Andreas or the Skyscraper one.
Skyscraper's not too bad.
Was he good in Get Smart? I never saw. I think I saw a little bit of Get Smart with Steve Carell.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if I watched it. Is that Steve Carell and Anne Hathaway?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's more than one of those, right?
I watched like half of it.
I think it was okay.
But of the ones I've seen, I would say probably Jumanji
Jumanji's
trumps
really good.
the
Yeah.
Rundown in terms of.
I
good
haven't
movies.
watched the second Jumanji yet.
It's still pretty good.
Is it good?
Yeah, I liked
Yeah,
it too.
yeah, it's good.
Doom.
No.
Oh,
Dude, I'm excited for Black Adam.
yeah.
Oh yeah, me too.
I can't wait to see what happens there.
The Rock had a post on his Instagram where like he was just sweaty and just
He has been up
working
for
out so
Black
hard.
Adam. Like, he was pretty much unofficially casted, like, feels like 10 years ago. And they kept going, hey, we're going to get you, we're going to get you, we're going to get you. He's like, all right, yeah. And then all these other roles came. He's like, no, I'm Black Adam. It's like, but Rock, they're not filming. I'm Black Adam! You know?
Chat has a good one. Moana.
Moana, yeah.
I'd probably put Moana,
You're welcome.
Jumanji, and then Rundown. Probably is how I would go. But the reason I was thinking about it is in the beginning of the Rundown, and Maggie had forgotten this. Like he's walking into the club, and Arnold is coming out of the club.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Good luck, kid." Right? And it's sort of a passing of the torch.
Interesting.
Sort of thing of like he's going to be the new Arnold or
Yeah.
the new like big action movie star. And obviously, like commercially, he's done amazing.
Amazing.
But like looking back through the filmographies, like I don't think he's been in as many great movies as Sylvester and Arnold.
Yeah, but who has?
Maybe. And I
I mean,
wonder if some
Jason
of it
Statham, I
is-
guess.
while I don't one that we missed too, and because most people didn't like what they did, but it made him the star of what they did, G.I. Joe 2.
I
G.I.
haven't
Joe.
seen it.
Because with that one, they just basically like, you know what, forget this guy. The Rock's the star now.
Gotcha.
You know, and it's like,
Like I don't think it's The Rock's fault necessarily, because I think The Rock is very good
Yeah,
as an actor.
I think so too.
But yeah, it's like if I were to look in like the number of years that the Rock's had versus the number of years, like from the start of their career, that Arnold or Sly has, I just don't think he's reached those peaks yet.
I mean, I get you. This is like the LeBron James, Michael Jordan conversation. It's
Sure.
like, well, but you know, Michael Jordan has achieved a status of like, you know, godhood. You know, because people that were 3 watching him jump over normal men's heads, you know, that they see him as a superhero, you know? So coming now when you have other guys come up, like, well, yeah, but they don't have that. It's like, well, they can't. You were a child. You don't look at it the same way, you know?
Because, like, in Conan the Barbarian, like, Arnold is not an amazing actor in that movie.
No.
But that movie is so iconic, and a lot of it's because of the time it came out, and there just wasn't a lot of fantasy then. But, you know, the soundtrack, the cinematography of that movie.
How long it takes for him to put his sword around his giant body.
Yeah.
When he does that move.
The editing, like, there's so much about that movie that I would put up there with some of the greats of all time.
Yeah.
See, but
his part
James
in
Earl Jones is in that.
Yeah, and he's great. He's
so
great
good.
in it.
I don't know. Like, was Rampage, like, are you looking like action movie, like, stars and stuff like that, too, or what? Because I feel like The Rock is a big name, and I feel like he's also, like, in a lot of the stuff more recently, especially, he's been, like, pretty big in action stuff, like Hobbs and Shaw and Fast and Furious. Like, he does some pretty cool action stuff, and those are pretty big movies and whatnot, too, I feel like. But then at the same time, he can also do the opposite, where he's in, like, Jumanji, being like comedic or being like get smart and being more of a comedy side, which Arnold
I would say
did.
He's got more range.
Which Arnold did as well with like he was in Kindergarten Cop, he was in the Twins, he was in that pregnant one,
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle All the Way. You know, he did some comedy ones too.
Jingle All the Way is great. Ultraman.
Turbo Man.
Phil Hartman's in that, right?
Turbo Man.
Turbo Man.
Turbo.
What's Ultraman? You're right. It is Turbo Man, but why am I thinking Ultraman?
Ultraman is a Japanese like kaiju.
Yeah, that's the guy that fights Godzilla.
Yeah.
He should have done that. What was he thinking doing Turbo Man?
I don't know. But no, like maybe that's what he thought it was. Hey, you want to be in Turbo Man? And he's thinking of Ultraman. He's like, yeah, I'll be that. And it didn't work out. But
Maybe
I think
Arnold has as much range.
But I think they both have some pretty good range. But I think more recently,
Arnold has.
I think the issue is that Arnold was in cult classics at the time. And nowadays, I don't feel like you really get that cult classic type of movie.
Well, I mean, some of them were cult classic, but some of them were blockbusters too. Like Terminator 2. Like those made huge money.
Oh my gosh.
They did, but so
Terminator
does
2 is
Fast
so
and Furious.
fucking
I think
good.
is a big one that gets in a
It
lot of money
definitely
that
is.
he's been in. You know, I don't know if Hobbs and Shaw did as well, but I don't know. I think that there's like I think there's some similarities there, but I think part of it too is also the time.
True Lies made tons of money.
I think it's similar to relate. Did it make tons of money?
I'm pretty sure it did.
Because like if you, that's the thing too. Like if looking at money earnings and all that kind of stuff, I think it's kind of like when you try to compare like Jordan versus like LeBron or whatever, right? Like there's different rule sets now. The times are a little different with the way like how things have changed, and points are so much higher now than what they used to be and whatnot. Because now you can't touch people or what, you know, all that kind of stuff. Like there might be a difference in like when you look at earnings, you got to kind of try to compare with like inflation and stuff. And also I think a big thing is like, I used to watch Kindergarten Cop all the time, but we had it on like VHS, and it kind of became like a cult classic kind of thing that we would watch it and enjoy it. Sure. Where I don't do that nearly as much now with any new movie, you know? Like I watched the original trilogy and prequel trilogy of Star Wars so much more than I did the newer trilogy coming out, you know? And I think it's kind of the times and how much content we have and how easy it is to get new stuff now. And
I feel like maybe that applies less to Arnold, but more to like a Van Damme or a Steven Seagal. Maybe.
Seagal.
You think?
We're like, I have a feeling that they're like at home, like video releases did much better.
I mean,
than
Seagal, that's all he does. He still does at-home video releases. Have you seen his filmography in the last 10 years?
I didn't know he still did stuff.
He does like a million things. He's doing more B movies than Nicolas Cage.
I believe that. And he's taking more roles than Sam Jackson. Because Samuel Jackson, he's one of those guys that just takes pretty much anything.
Oh, yeah, he's the highest paid actor, right?
Yeah, but he takes so many roles, but they often like he'll take some B movies, but he also takes some good movies too. Like I haven't seen Seagal in anything in years.
Man, Wikipedia has a whole thing on Steven Seagal just for allegations and lawsuits.
Really?
Starting from the 90s to now.
How about this though?
It's so big.
What other action stars can you really think of more recently?
Recent?
Yeah, because like the
Jason Statham.
the things you're going for, like you've mentioned, like Steven and the guy from Rocky.
Sylvester Stallone.
That one, and then like Arnold, Chuck Norris, Bruce Willis. Like those are kind of like old school action guys, right?
Like 70s, 80s, 90s.
Dude,
Yeah.
Tom Cruise.
Is
I know
Tom
Calvin
Cruise-
always gives Tom Cruise like hell, but he's been doing that shit for so long
probably
and
been
still feels like he's in his prime.
The most consistent
Yeah.
of any of them.
It's got to be Tom Cruise up there, even now, you know? It's like
Sure.
he did it then and he's doing it now.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't think he was as actiony back in the day,
Yeah.
but I think he's more actiony now.
I mean, especially with like the Mission Impossibles, how long those have been going on and
Yeah.
I
stuff.
mean, as far as recent ones goes, I think like Gerald Butler's had some good ones.
Okay, like that's the Olympus Down, or is that the?
Whichever
House
one of
is-
those, 300
Yeah.
was real big. I mean, if you look at like the Marvel movies as action movies, you can have
Okay.
like, what has Chris done action movie wise outside of Marvel stuff? Has he
Which
done
Chris?
much? Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth.
He had that Poseidon thing. No, I don't know.
Poseidon, the boat.
What's the one he did with little Spider-Man?
Little with Tom Holland.
With Tom Holland. Before Tom Holland was Tom Holland.
Little Spider-Man.
Isn't that a Chris Hemsworth movie?
I don't know what it was. There was. Is that the Netflix one? Isn't there a Netflix one?
I don't think it was Netflix. I don't know.
Chat's throwing out a few. Jason Momoa.
The Heart of the Sea. Huh, that's what it is.
Jason Momoa is in that. What's?
Jason Momoa is definitely one.
Is he?
I would say so.
Like, what movies do you have for him?
I mean, right now,
Jason Momoa,
it's-
Conan the Barbarian, Aquaman.
Conan, Aquaman.
Has Conan came out?
It's years ago.
Yeah,
I don't remember it. I haven't
Years
seen
and
any Conan
years
the
and years and
Barbarian.
years ago.
yeah. And then what else has he been in?
I mean, Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
That was action. He was in what sci-fi show was he in a long time ago?
Jason Momoa?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like other than a few highlights, I feel like the action genre has been in like a downturn for the last 10 or 20 years.
I think they're just not. I think there's too many movies and it's too accessible that things just don't stand out as much as they used to.
I think it's
Stargaze
more
Atlantis, so that's right.
because there's fewer practical effects, and I feel like practical effects really made action movies.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Because like you were seeing like death-defying stuff, you know, and like you still see that sometimes, but a lot of it is digital. And like, you know, obviously I don't want anyone to get hurt or killed in a movie,
Yeah.
or anything.
It's safer now.
Henry Cavill. Think about when he cocked his arms. Think about The Witcher. The motherfucker Superman, you know?
Yeah,
That's a pretty good one.
it's true.
I know I say it wrong every time.
And he's-
Calvin's always like, travel!
And you know, a lot
Cavill.
of these people we're talking about still have room to grow too. Like, you know,
Yeah.
Henry's not going anywhere.
No.
See, this list says the top 5 modern day action stars.
Modern.
Right?
I put Keanu Reeves up there with the John Wick movies.
John Wick movies are some of the best.
They're
action
amazing.
movies
And he
we've
also
had.
already did Matrix. I mean, yeah. that's
This
pretty good.
has Jason Statham as 5.
Okay.
Charlize Theron? I don't even recognize the name.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Charlie's. Yeah.
Charlize Theron.
Who's
I don't know
that?
how to say her name either. You don't recognize her, though?
I don't recognize the name right offhand, no.
She was the, she's been in so many things.
she's been a lot.
She's
Name
the
one.
mentally challenged woman in Arrested Development.
That,
I don't know why that's coming to me
that's
first.
She's in Mad. I haven't seen Mad Max. I haven't seen Atomic Blonde.
No, you reacted to Mad Max, didn't you?
Yeah, you reacted to Mad Max.
I did not.
Oh, shit.
I've never seen
Why
Mad
weren't
Max.
you in it?
You guys didn't let me. I don't know.
We didn't let you.
I don't know what happened.
Get out of here.
I was gone. You guys watched it. I don't know what happened. I've not seen Mad Max, Atomic Blonde.
How did that happen?
I don't know. I was gone.
No. What was she in that she was?
Old Guard, Furiosa. I don't know what I don't know any of these. All these things are named and I don't know.
She was in Hancock with Will Smith.
Okay, I've seen that one.
She was Hela in Thor Ragnarok. The villain.
Huh.
Wait, what?
No.
No, that's
No.
Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Come on, man.
That's what Chat said.
What?
Oh, Chad. That's not the.
That's why you can't always listen to him.
They let me down.
That's Galadriel, man.
I think the name sounds. Charlize Theron. Charlize.
Instead of a Dark Lord, you will have a queen.
Hey, I recognize her.
Yeah.
She looks familiar. Where do I know her from?
Who else is on the list?
Monster. I haven't seen Monster. Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Liam Neeson.
Okay.
If
Sure.
only for all the Taken, and then the ones where he fought the wolves with the
Yeah.
with the claws.
And then Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
Tom Cruise
Okay.
is a big one.
Is their top 5.
Yeah.
I would agree with Tom. Being
She
number
was
one.
in Mighty Joe Young. I love that movie.
Yeah, I gotta look and see what she's been in now, because like everything people are naming, I'm like, I haven't seen any of these. But it's awesome that there's, out of these 5, there is a girl on the list. It's not just all
Yeah.
men, you know? So that's cool too. Yeah, I haven't seen anything that she's in on this list here. Oh wait, this is the producer list. Okay, hang on, hide that. Actress list.
Oh no, what's
And then-
happened to the thing?
Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
I'm gonna have to there it goes.
Did you open a thing?
No, I just looked over and it was gone. So now the subscribers are back.
Okay.
I think I've seen Mighty Joe Young at some point. I think I might have seen Italian Job at some point too. Oh, she's in Aeon Flux.
Hey, I know that Liam Neeson gets some flack for
Taken.
Taken and all the cuts, but don't you dare insult fucking Rob Roy saying he's not an action star. Jesus.
Damn.
Oh.
Aaron hasn't seen Rob Roy
The
either.
sword fight in Rob Roy is one of the best sword fights of all time.
What's Rob-
He was casted as Qui-Gon for that movie alone.
What's Rob Roy?
It's
Motherfuckers on Duel of the Fates. Sorry. Jesus.
you can think of it as like a Braveheart sort of movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's got one of the best sword fights ever. Of like
Ever.
A long sword versus like a rapier.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I've never seen it.
Who's he fighting that? Is that Tim Roth?
There's Tim Roth in it.
Yeah, Tim
and
Roth.
and there's John Hurt.
Is the John Hurt's in, but Tim Roth, man, he's a motherfucker too with
Tim
that
Roth.
rapier.
That's Abomination, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, he's in a bunch of Tarantino movies. He was Caesar in that one Tim Burton Planet of the Apes.
A few other names that are mentioned for next generation action stars are Jeremy Renner, Aaron Paul, Charlie Hunnam,
That's the dude from Sons of Anarchy. He was in that Arthur movie.
Tom Hardy.
Man, I'm just fucking watching this Rob Roy sword fight, and it is so good.
Idris Elba's on this list too. But yeah, I don't know. I think it might be partly due to the time, Rick. That's what I kind of want to equate it to. Just because of the way content is consumed nowadays, I think that there's things that people see and there's just so much of it. Like I still haven't seen. Dang it! It's a Netflix show with 6 in the title that I wanted to see, and I think it has
Magnificent
Jim from The
Six?
Office. Is he in it? Is that right? Am I thinking of the right one?
Rainbow Six.
Not Rainbow Six. There's something on Netflix.
John Krasinski?
That was
Isn't
six.
he in-
No,
isn't-
it had. Maybe it was Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. It had someone on it. Six
Six
Underground.
Underground?
6 Underground or Underground 6. Whatever that
Okay.
is. Who's in it?
Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds. Okay. It had like I was like, oh, that looks cool. That looks like a fun action movie, and I still haven't seen it. So, I think it's just like back in our day when we were younger. Like I saw Predator how many times, and I was like, oh man, it's such a fun, great movie. I love this movie. But I don't think it's the same where like. I don't think I like movies less. I think that's what I had and I watched it more. I think it's the same with video games for me, you know?
I mean, in part, I think so too. But like, I'll watch recent movies and I'll be like, man, this is now one of my favorite movies I've ever seen. So like, I think that there is a qualitative aspect to it where you can compare, and I think, well, part of it too, it's the same thing that happens with music, right? Like you always say, like, man, the '70s were the best time for the music. But the thing is, only the best ones survive. So you only hear the best of the best.
Sure.
Whereas, you know, in the times we're living in, we experience everything. And
Yeah.
like, you know, from the 80s, we're only watching the best of the best, unless you're me. And then I'm also watching the worst of the worst.
It's true.
Sure, I guess so.
The best of the best of the best, sir.
I don't know if I was watching the best of the best through the 80s and the 90s of like action movies and stuff. You know, I think I was watching. I mean, maybe I was. 'Cause
Well,
I'm sure there's always
an element
tons
there of like take what you can get.
Yeah, there's an element of just
Sure.
take what you get. And I would
Yeah.
watch shit that was. I didn't want to watch the penis strangling women movie, but it was on. I watched it. You
was
know,
on.
like, and people are gonna be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I'm skipping over it. But like,
You
There's-
just left
there's-
with nothing there.
there's a limit to what I could do. You know, as a kid, especially with
Yeah.
what movies I could watch, what games I could play. It was what I had, you know. Whereas nowadays, there's like you said too, like if you get a game console, sometimes they just give stuff for free, well, I'll play this game. It's for free. I might as well check it out. But I didn't have that when I was a kid. You didn't have no digital access to this
Definitely.
or that.
Or
whatever,
like, you didn't have online marketplaces where things go down 90%.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Or humble bundles.
No.
You know?
You might have had a clearance bin at KB Toys, and you're like, fuck, I'm getting that game or something.
Yeah, like
you know?
you could get the
Toys.
old stuff used at rinks.
Yeah.
Sometimes. At
But
the flea market.
Honestly, I think I watch a bigger mixture now than I did when I was younger, but I was at the whim of my parents. Like, what are they going to watch? I have satellite. I don't have satellite for 5 TVs.
There's just so much more now.
Yeah. Netflix can be on 5 different shows and on 5 different TVs at the same time, Like, I didn't have that when I was younger. I had this VHS tape or whatever my parents are watching,
It's like I got, 5 streaming services for different things, but if I just use one, it would take me so long to watch everything. I probably would never be able to do it.
Yeah.
Damn it, Aaron, that was just porn. It was, but it wasn't. It was made by a porn company, but it wasn't just porn.
Aaron, you had one other thing to talk about before I move on to questions?
No, the main 2 was about the game thing. Kind of fell into it a little bit, where I was like, well, that's kind of interesting on this year's gaming, and then the other one was the Young Rock, which I kind of tossed in with your wrestling thing.
All right.
And then we went into action movie stars, so...
All right. Let's see here. For today, have any of you guys watched Klaus or Hubie's Halloween? I've seen Klaus. It's amazing. Haven't seen the other one.
I haven't seen either of those.
I don't know what the... No, wait. That's Adam Sandler's. I've seen both of those.
Okay.
It wasn't too bad. It was interesting. I wasn't sure about... Because Adam Sandler is very hit or miss for me anymore. Like, there's some movies where I'm like, this was pretty good, and there's other ones where I'm like, it's too... I don't know. Happy Gilmore, like, trying to hit that same kind of thing. Like, I didn't really care for...
Have you seen Grown Ups and Grown Ups 2?
Grown Ups is in the middle. I didn't care for Jack and Jill. Like, that one I was like, eh.
Grown Ups would have been so good if Chris Farley were still alive.
Sure.
Grown Ups 2 is... One of my favorite podcasts ever is, like, the worst idea in the history of the world. Mm-hmm. And they watch that every week for a year and review it.
That's ridiculous. That's the worst idea I've ever heard.
But... I don't know. The Hubie's Halloween was... I tell you what, I want a thermos like that. That's all I'll say. It's a great thermos. But Klaus is really good. I liked it too. In the very beginning, I'm like, how the hell is this a Christmas movie?
Jimmy asks, what is Bebo and why does Aaron hate it?
There are some answers that you can't have in life.
Bebo's too big to be understood by mortal men.
And that's not one of them. No, Bebo is originally a Furby-like toy found in the Arrowverse, Rick.
It is.
But through some shenanigans with time travel, a group of Vikings found it and worshipped it as their god of war.
Sure.
So Bebo hungry is, it hungers for battle!
One of the best things is like,
amazing.
what do you want, God? And then that's what it's like,
Bebo
hungry. It hungers for... It's either war or blood, one of the two.
It hungers for battle,
It's like,
and then all the Vikings like, yeah! And then in the
like,
background it's going,
How many lines does it have?
I mean, it's gotten more lines since, because that was such a hell of a thing to happen, that it's been one of those things that's kind of popped up in all the Arrowverse shows. Like, hey, there's a Bebo app, or there's a Bebo thing, and I always... me and Aaron kind of step into this thing where, like, if I really like something, he doesn't like it. And now, the more I like it, the more he hates it, the better it gets.
Sounds like a hell of a thing.
Hell of a thing.
Plus, what was it remember when Mac did, like, a ritualistic prayer to Bebo during one of the subscriber videos? That was a pretty good one,
Well, he had a thing in the Regulators.
Yeah.
Where they were like, praise Bebo that she wasn't hurt or whatever it was, Irregulars.
Monkey Keyblade, what do you guys want to see in My Hero Academia Season 5? Or are you guys excited to see the show again?
Oh, man, what do I want to see?
Super excited.
Towards the end of that series, spoilers for the next 30 seconds, I guess, of what we've seen so far. But this idea that it's possible that something's going on with Deku where he can be able to develop his powers in a way we never thought before. That's what I'm most excited for.
Oh, yeah, just like...
Now you can unplug.
Seeing a possible peak.
Yeah.
And, like, knowing...
That look into the future we got with 100%, power when he had Aerie on his back.
So good.
Oh, man, that was such a magical, amazing moment.
I want to.
I want that peek into the future. I want to, there's like I didn't feel that the way about something since like Dragon Ball Z when I was watching it with cereal in my lap and going crazy because of the Super Saiyan transformation.
Last season 2.
Cereal.
Oh. How did you like talking to Siri while you watched it?
No, this was
I'm
years
like,
ago.
what? I know, I was so confused.
Last season 2, I felt like we lost out on like Bakugo and Shoto as well. So I would like to see them a little more this time around.
Yeah, the side characters, sometimes they just kind of fall back.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing them like, because they were still catching up, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing that too. I also kind of I wonder if they might use and keep / doing something with the gentleman dude. Because he was just a
gentle
fun
criminal
character. I just like.
No, I would like to see that. I'm also. Wow, why is his name escaping me right now? The guy that lost his quirk. I can't think of it right now.
Lemillion.
Yeah, Lemillion.
Wasn't it Miria?
Miria.
Right?
Yeah. I want to see what they do with him.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
What birth order are you guys, and do you think it's affected you? So I was the oldest.
Birth order?
Birth order.
Oh, okay. You mean as in with your siblings?
Yeah.
Okay, I get you. Sure, like there's that psychological thing about like first, second, and third mainly, right? If you're a middle child, if you're younger. So you were the first?
I was the eldest.
Okay. So you tend to be a little bit more responsible. You tend to, like what are all the things that I've read about firstborns?
I don't know.
I was the oldest and the middle.
I was like the first one of my parents, and then the first like grandchild as well.
Yeah. I was like, you were just the first in general, right?
Yeah.
So firstborn children have slightly higher IQs than children in other birth order positions.
Okay. I have a mixture. I have a mixture of that because I'm the oldest.
Yeah.
But my dad also had other sons before me.
Gotcha.
In other households.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's mainly in your household, I think. Men who are born earlier in their families are more emotionally stable than younger siblings. So men specifically can be more emotionally stable.
Okay.
Kids born in the first position are less likely to smoke cigarettes.
The asthma help with that too.
Biology majors in college are more likely to be firstborn children. That's interesting.
I didn't go that way.
Sorry, read that.
Biology majors in college, a large amount of them are firstborn children.
Interesting.
Medical students are more likely to be firstborn or only children.
I don't know if my birth order really affected too much.
I feel like my sister would have more complaints about her birth order than I do about mine.
I don't know.
If that makes sense.
Maybe.
So I'm the youngest in my family. My brother is 6 years older than I am, and my sister is 4 years older than I am.
Have you ever noticed, like, do you feel like you ever got, like, more attention or more help or anything like that compared to, like, older siblings?
I definitely don't feel like I ever noticed it, though I think retroactively looking back, I can see where I would have. It's something that you don't really notice. That's just how it is. You don't really think about favoritism or order or anything like that because you're the baby, you know? Youngest children tend to be the most free-spirited due to their parents' increasingly lax attitude towards parenting. The second or third, fourth, fifth time around, the baby of the family tends to be more fun-loving, uncomplicated, manipulative, outgoing, an attention seeker, and self-centered. But what are the strengths?
That's a lot of negatives.
And that's for the youngest or oldest?
For youngest. Lastborns generally aren't the strongest or smartest in the room. Nice. They develop their own way of winning attention. They're natural charmers with an outgoing social personality. No surprise, then, that many famous actors and comedians are the babies of the family, and that they score higher in the agreeableness of personality tests than firstborns, according to Dr. Soloway.
I wonder if it's more pronounced the more kids there are.
Yeah, I betcha.
I was similar to Aaron in that I grew up in a house with one sister.
Yeah.
It also depends on the spread, though, too, right? Because my grandma and grandpa had 7 kids, but my dad had his son, Kenny, the same age as his uncle, Mac. Like, my Uncle Mac is only 2 years older than my brother, you know.
See
so
that?
like it's not like the feeling of what my dad accomplished mattered much when Matt came along because he was far out of the house by then, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, my birth was more in line with my second cousins for my grandparents, right? So like the great grandchildren, I was more the age of them versus like all my cousins who were 20 years older than me or so, you know.
Yeah.
So where like that generation I felt like got more from like grandparents wise. Like I know at one point they had all gotten like every grandchild or whatever got like a game system. All the great grandchildren always just got like some random knick-knack of some sort, you know? I was like, man, I missed out on the good stuff because they all put me down here. And even my cousin treated me like, rather than being like, because I was younger than him, you know? But rather than being like a more of an equal generation thing, it was like I was one of his kids. So it was kind of a weird thing with that. I always thought it was just kind of weird because I was the age of them. I was like 2 years older than the oldest one of the great-grandchildren.
Yeah, like I feel like your parents were on one spectrum of being like a little older than the average parents. Then mine were on the other spectrum where they were much younger.
Well, I remember us talking at one point, like, my dad is the age of your grandma, you know? Like, so, but no, my older brothers were all in the same age range of the grandkids.
My grandma, sorry, I didn't mean to jump in, but my grandma just turned 70. We did a drive-by for her birthday.
Yeah.
So, wish her happy birthday in chat, which she's almost certainly not watching.
Yeah. Probably not.
Although, she has watched some of our videos. So, I don't know if she watches the podcast, though.
Happy
I know Mom
birthday.
at least used to listen to our podcast at work.
Oh.
Kenny, my brother Kenny, he'd be at work like the day after like a Game of Thrones episode had come, and his like coworkers who he doesn't really have much of a relationship with would come over and be like, "Hey, where's your brother video? I need to know what happened in Game of Thrones."
But yeah, I was wondering, that's why I was asking you with you being the youngest, because there's been some times I'm like, you know, you question like, did my sister get more this way or that way because of the age differences or anything?
Yeah.
Or so I hope I don't do that with my kids, because I can definitely tell, like, I definitely think Ayla does more things, but I think she's the youngest of 4.
Sure.
I don't know if she's trying to stand out more and stuff too, so like, I don't know. But I also hope I don't give her more attention than anyone else. I don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But sometimes because they're acting out, I'm like, stop it, and then like they're attention, but it's bad attention, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you can't do this.
I mean, I think that
Get off the fridge, you know, or whatever.
Reading here, like, you know, the youngest child tends to want more attention, but they tend to suffer from imposter syndrome a lot. Like they can never achieve as much as their older siblings, or, well, it's already been done. I'm not really being impressed by doing that.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, graduating high school isn't like, you did it. It's like, all right, the last one, thank God, you know?
Yeah.
An anime or in host club.
I definitely, I guess I felt that.
The 4th kid walking, you're like, finally, good. You know, I don't have to carry you anymore.
Yeah.
You know? But
I mean, certainly.
the first one, you're like, yeah, you're walking. Get pictures.
Yeah. Certainly, like, going to school and going through various teachers. It's like, oh, I had your brother and your sister. You know, your brother is a good athlete. Your sister was a great student. What are you going to be? It's like, neither.
Nothing.
I'm going to be half deaf.
Hell, Mr. Kaufman, my
I'm gonna pay attention
my
to
ag
half
teacher,
as much as my siblings did.
My ag teacher, Mr. Kaufman, his very first class, my dad was in.
Yeah.
And then he taught my brother and my sister. And
Oh,
then
wow.
Yeah.
Chloe, I've been watching Kind of Funny's MCU in review. Was wondering if you would ever do a rewatch of all the movies and do a commentary. Also, has anyone seen all 23 of them?
Oh, I've seen them all. I believe
movies?
we did a commentary.
MCU.
Oh.
We did a commentary on Iron Man.
We did.
And the next one up would be Incredible Hulk.
Yeah.
Which, you know, people say, like, that's not MCU. It totally is.
It is.
In fact, I think, isn't, like, Tim Roth supposed to appear again?
Yeah.
In the
He's supposed to be
She-Hulk or something.
taking his role again in, She-Hulk.
Yeah. And that's where, of course, Thunderbolt Ross came from, and he appeared back in him later. So, anyway.
But, I've seen them all.
I've seen them all many times.
I think I'm still missing Iron Man 2 and 3.
See, it might be like if we went through them and did that, it might be like a pseudo reaction while we're doing commentaries for some of that stuff too. Because that was kind of like me. Like I remember watching Lord of the Rings. I don't think I've ever seen Extended Edition, and I kind of remember Harry Potter, but A lot of that stuff was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, in this year's Schmoedown, at the very least, I'm going to be helping out my faction with doing some like mock matches and stuff for Inner Geekdom, which the MCU is a big part of. I might, if my confidence level feels high, I might see about trying to get into some actual matches, but MCU is a huge part of that, and I definitely feel like I have that knowledge to take already.
I feel like I know Marvel better than I do DC. So, but they also cover MCU and Marvel movies as a whole too, right?
Yeah.
And that does that like go back to Blade or is it just
in Marvel?
Blade, Spider-Man, the first
it's
Fantastic
MCU
Four,
and then Marvel movies and then DCEU and then DC movies.
Probably the new Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
What about the Roger Corman?
No, because it has to have been released in a theater.
That one don't count, Rick.
Does not count.
We should watch it though.
But you also have Star Trek. You also have the Wizarding World. You have Middle Earth. And then even stuff like The Rocketeer, stuff like that. So
nice.
Rocketeer.
There's an official movie
Robot
list.
Jocks.
I don't know about that one. But there is a official movie list of the IG division.
Where do I find this, Rick?
And the cool thing about that is you don't have to do what I'm doing here, which is go super, super deep into the movie. It's pretty much watch the movie, know the cast and crew.
Yeah.
It's not
cast and crew.
It's not.
It's more like Jack of all trades.
What order does Red Squadron report in? Well, Rick, that's Red 2, Red 7, Red 3, Red 6, Red 9, Red 2, Red 11, Red 5.
I could have gotten Red 5 as last. Hardwood asks, who makes the best sandwiches?
Jancy.
I'm
I just ate one of her sandwiches at the beginning of the podcast. It's awesome.
I would go with Maggie because she also home makes the bread.
Wait, so we're not talking about the Blind Wave crew? We're just naming off random people? Fucking.
I'm just answering the question, who makes the best sandwiches?
I mean, if it's us.
Like, I just named the chef from, like, the galley. There's great hamburgers or something. Like, what's the limit here?
If it's us, yeah, I don't know if I would rank myself too highly. Because, like, if I'm making sandwiches for myself, they're always pretty simple.
Yeah.
It's like meat, Swiss cheese, and maybe, like, a brown mustard.
Brown mustard. You never, like, put other, like, seasoning or anything on a sandwich or nothing? Or
I used to do mayonnaise, but not anymore.
That's not seasoning. But okay.
Man, I just learned that
I mean, if I make
rubber
a burger,
bands age.
What do you mean rubber bands age?
They age.
Yeah.
They're just
absolutely
too
they
old
do.
now.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, is it within like a year? So I
It's like
feel
a-
like we got this bag like at least a year and a half ago, and every single rubber band snaps.
There's a half-life for
Well,
rubber
the
bands.
other thing,
Eric.
too, is the way they're stored. Those are all in a ball.
They were in a bag, sealed.
Oh, never mind. All right. No excuse.
Sorry, I keep trying to put the rubber band back on this huge thing, and they're all broken. This one's alive.
So when they're talking about sandwich, I feel like that's like a meat and cheese sandwich, not like a burger or something that you might see.
Yeah.
Is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
No.
Is it taco?
I'm pretty sure a hot dog is a sandwich, though. Right? Is it
No.
classified as a sandwich?
No, it's a hot dog. Anyone answers that question like, "Oh, I guess technically." No.
So is a sub a sandwich?
Yeah.
But it's a sub.
No, it's a sub sandwich. It's a submarine sandwich. That's what it's called.
I don't know about a taco.
God himself said that.
What about
It's in red in the Bible. Eric.
Uncrustables?
Yeah.
Is that a sandwich?
It's just without its crust.
Yeah, but it's wrapped up in like a weird
Yeah,
thing.
give me a sandwich. I'll pinch off the edges.
So what's the limit for a hot dog? Hot dog is just a bread with a hot dog in it.
It's
almost out of
different. It's
time.
2 pieces of bread.
Now we're
let's
gonna
get
argue
into
with
it.
It's not
sandwiches.
1 piece of
A
bread.
few more of these.
I'm gonna say out of the crew, I probably make the best sandwich.
Well,
would
I'm gonna say
probably-
I do.
Crew. You're gonna say you do?
Yeah.
You don't even know what a sandwich is.
I've made more sandwiches in my life than you have.
How can you even qualify?
Because
that?
I worked at a pizza shop that made subs.
Eric, I've worked at 2 pizza shops.
Yeah, I did it for 7 years.
Okay, I did it for years. I don't know how many, but I did.
Eric, do you have any idea when to expect your Razor Crest?
Oh, no idea. All I can say is that I have not gotten the email that it's being shipped, but I think it's still got a while yet. Can't wait, though.
All right, and then last one we have time for. First off, I love your reaction to Cobra Kai episode today, but my question is, how did y'all meet? We've answered this before, but every podcast is someone's first podcast.
That's true. So these two met in school, right?
Yep.
Yes, Aaron went to my school in 2nd grade, and we had been best friends pretty
And
much
he
ever since.
secretly sabotaged me in every way, and somehow
I
we're still
molded
friends.
you into the man you are today.
Yeah, and you hate it.
And
And then we would have met while we were in a 2-year college program
yes,
and played Smash Brothers and never looked back.
started with Smash, and I married Calvin's sister.
Yeah, that's where he came
So
from.
that's how we met Calvin.
Yeah, that's how Kevin was met. Not that they were also friends.
So that's the short version of how it all
Yep.
happened.
All right, so let's look into bits and donations. And yep, I will refund your stuff if your question did not get answered.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's bring this puppy up here. Tomorrow, what are we streaming? While I look this up.
We are doing Hitman 3. It'll probably be the last Hitman 3 stream we have for a while.
Yeah.
It'll just be me and Eric, I believe, playing.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be. We might see if we can push a little faster. At least for me, Eric usually kind of just kills things and leaves.
Does the objective well
What?
finishes after you?
I don't know about
I
well.
think that's what you said.
Maybe we should do a race.
You said that right.
I don't know if I mean well, but usually he
What do you
finishes
well?
faster.
I did my objectives. I left.
Eric, I feel bad for Jancy.
Why? That the job was done in an efficient manner and
got it done
everyone
quick
was
and I left.
satisfied and it didn't peter out while we were waiting along.
Peter out.
Like it's your guys' first time going through the levels, but it could be fun to do a race. I was watching a giant bomb race the other day, and the two people did it very differently. So one of them did it the Eric style, where it's like just do it as quick as possible.
Go in, you shoot him in the head, you leave,
But
right?
the problem with that is like it's a high risk.
Yeah.
So like he had to restart much more than the other guy who
Yeah.
took it much slower.
Well, there's also like the rankings you get too. So like Silent Assassin, you don't get if they find a body that you shot in the head and stuff. So you gotta like if you're going for any of that kind of stuff to qualify anything, then you gotta make sure you're being a little slower. And
I mean,
careful.
I came in. Okay, that last one. I came in with a clear plan. I know this lady's going to go to this dying guy, this dead guy. So I hid in the room until she got there.
That was after you died once or twice.
Once I shot her in the head. Then I went up and I did the same puzzle you did. Got the stuff. Escaped the same way you escaped.
Oh.
It just, you know.
But we were
You
also
did it an
trying
hour
to
earlier.
solve a. Yeah.
What's up?
There was also trying
I
to
think I
solve.
hear Jancy coming.
But some of it's also the story elements too, where I'm like, oh man, I really want to know what this is, but we're not going for that. So, and the next, I think we have 2 or 3 levels left. So, I'm just gonna go and try to just kill the things, not worry about the mission stories. I'll do that at home later, I guess.
All right. Aaron, you've got 20 squats, 10 from Cleveland Steamroller, and 10 from 6 Kitten Ship. For Aaron, and then Aaron for denying the power of Bebo.
Oh, bummer.
And while you're going at those, I will read these. Hilding, 200 bits, weekly loving. Thank you very much, Hilding.
Thank you, Hilding.
Al Hussein, 500 bits. Aaron, I'll make you a deal. You upload Rick's Witcher 3 streams to the archives, and I'll stop using the name Aaron's Bald Spot on Twitter.
Oh, that's you.
Well, unfortunately, I believe only the DLCs exist. The other ones may have been lost to time of like the main game. So I don't know if that counts. If that fulfills your requirement. The Strongest Fusion, resubscribed for 6 months. Hello, friends. Hello, The Strongest Fusion. Thank you. Vernon, 8 months. Hot damn.
Hot damn. Hot
Indeed.
8 months. Hot damn.
Tetsuo, resubscribed for 20 months.
Thank you,
so much.
Tetsuo.
That's.
Kyle drew a picture, subscribed for the first time.
I want to see the picture.
I want to see it too.
Alex the Great, resubscribed for 28 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alex.
Mook, subscribed for 2 months. Thank you. Muddy Badger, 6 months. Thank you very much. Ant-Man, 2 months.
Thank you, Ant-Man.
Thank you.
Joy ZB, 300 bits. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you to everyone as well who boosted us. That's going to last today and tomorrow. Is that how it works?
Does it?
I don't know. It looks like
We got to the front page today.
it has so many times that it promotes it,
Okay.
and we're 50% completed, so it might happen tomorrow's stream as well.
All right. Cool stuff. Iris Nexus, resubscribed for 24 months, 2 years on Twitch, but many more as a viewer. Keep going strong, lads. Anything planned for Thursdays now? The 2 shows in it are ending. Or is it going to be a rest day
For what is it?
for Thursday?
I don't know.
Keep an
There'll
eye
probably
out.
be some things
You never know. There
altered
might be
around.
something. Well, there might not. Mushroom Star gifted a sub. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
King Hodor tipped $3. Congrats on going to the Mercs, Eric.
Thank you.
Based on Coy's comments, it seems like he knew he wanted to draft you for a while. Did you have conversations with other managers that expressed heavy interest, or was it only Coy? If yes, which managers?
I mean, I had some people reach out to me, but Coy was really the only one that I had a actual conversation with. So yeah, he was exactly the manager that I wanted, and I'm so happy that I went second round to him.
Awesome. LK Forte subscribed for 2 months. Thank you very much. The Strongest Fusion with 1,000 bits. I am a patron for Blind Wave and proud. Thank you so much.
Patron.
Thank you.
Shin Wolverine, 100 bits. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Wolverine.
Jim Rink, 8 months. Congratulations on your YouTube ranking. This time next year, maybe you'll overtake Pew Pew Die.
Pew Pew Die.
Pew pew die.
PewDiePie is what he put.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know if he was mocking you.
I thought he was.
I was mocking myself.
You were. Good job.
Night Owl Lenny subscribed for 30 months. Thank you so much.
Thank
you,
you.
Lenny.
Mushroom Star, 2 months. Big love from Slovenia.
Wow.
very much.
Slovenia. Thank you.
Pete Kachu subscribed for the first time.
Pete Kachu.
Pita pita.
Be here for Poke Monday.
Eric Harvey, 43 months. All the bits I have left.
Oh, thank
Aw,
you.
thank you for your bits.
Madrat resubscribed for an incredible 34 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Romp resubscribed for 17 months. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chloe gifted 5 subs.
Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you, Chloe.
Wow.
Task Ultron resubscribed for 8 months.
Thank you, Ultron.
Chloe then also resubscribed herself. 4 months. Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Nexus resubscribed for 11 months.
Thank you, Nexus.
Thank you, Nexus.
Cleveland Steamroller didn't just give squats, but subscribed.
Thank you.
Cleveland. Cleveland rocks.
Kirano Man gifted a sub.
What is it, Rick?
Thank you. Kirano Man.
Kirana Man.
Kirano Man.
Kirana Man.
I think.
Ba-ba-da-da-da.
It's Zintro subscribed for the first time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gurren Logan subscribed for 5 months.
Thanks.
Underhand Comic resubscribed for 23 months.
Thank you, comic.
Thank you.
Yizing, 12 months. It's been a year. A weird one.
A weird year.
Indeed. Chloe gifted a sub.
Thank you, Chloe.
Thank you.
G. Paul tipped $5. Eric, I had a dream where you won the Star Wars title, but you shat your pants on camera. So watch out for that.
Oh, it's my dream too.
Is
Have
that
a
worth
light
it?
meal.
Would you shat your pants for the
I
title?
mean, it would certainly be a moment to remember.
I'm pretty sure, like, they're only going to see you waist up anyway,
yeah,
right?
it's not like, maybe if I'm like at celebration stage or something, that
Yeah.
might be
yeah,
bad.
no one
but
knows what the time you shat your pants here in a video.
I've shut my pants 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah, we didn't tell Jancy.
Condell subscribed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Condor? What was it?
Condell, I
Condell.
think. Gustavo Bruno resubscribed for 26 months.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Gustavo.
Bruno.
Bruin Something resubscribed for 2 months. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bruin.
Pathfinder Phoenix hosted the channel. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shin Wolverine, 100 bits. What are your favorite submarine movies? Hunt for Red October, Das Boot,
McHale's Navy.
Down Periscope?
I can't really think of anything right offhand. Down Periscope is a comedy, right?
Yeah,
I think I've seen that.
with Kelsey Grammer, right?
I think so, yeah.
Beast.
I have not seen Beast.
No, Beast from X-Men.
Wait, what?
never mind.
Waffle Trap hosted us. Thank you.
Thank you, Waffle.
Tori cheered 50 bits. Happy Thursday.
Ah,
Thank you, Tori.
Happy
Happy
Thursday.
Thursday to you as well. T-Pain resubscribed for 2 months.
T-Pain's here.
Pain.
Chloe, 100 bits. Not Chloe. It's pronounced Clue.
Cluette?
Ka?
Kluka.
Cluka?
Kluka.
Cluka. Cluka.
C-H-U-H.
What is that?
Klucha?
Clucha?
It's my last name, also not a girl.
Not a
Also
girl.
Not a girl.
That's what Janet says in The Good Place.
Dip, 100 bits. The Cobra Kai finale reaction was so good. I watched all of season 3 when it came out, rewatched it all again with you with full length. I was twice as hyped when the last scene happened. Will you guys ever bring back commentaries? I really miss them.
One day when we can get the setup and the way we want to do it and our schedule and a million other variables can go the right way. We'll
At some
try to get in
point.
there.
Gene Girl is the last resubscribing for 8 months.
Thank you, Gene Girl.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Appreciate
you.
you. Come back.
I had one thing I was going to say, too, about,
Yeah.
like, how many times did my camera shake this podcast?
Oh, because Calvin's not here? Exactly.
Also, I looked at this one thing for all recipes with experts talking about sandwiches, and this guy says that he's like, a hot dog's a hot dog. I don't count it as a sandwich.
Yeah.
And he says, sandwich or not, ketchup has no place on a hot dog.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of the Blonde Wave podcast. It is live every Thursday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come back tomorrow, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our group stream. We're going to be doing Hitman 3. Might be a race between these two guys. I'll have me on camera as well this time.
Yep.
We have a new overlay. Exciting times.
Last trivia question as we leave. Aaron, what does Greedo say before he shoots Han?
McClunky.
McClunky!
Now.